Hi, I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and today I'm joined by Rob, also known as the Revelator. He brings you all the Reva news and all of the Reva facts that are going to be in the new Reva series coming out this month on Star Wars. Oh, I almost said Kenobi, but I meant to say Star Wars Reva. How's it going, dude?
I'm dead. Look
You're
at me.
dead. You've
Yeah.
always been with me though. I was like,
Yeah. Well, I just keep going.
yeah,
You could wash your hands after you pee, though, but you know.
why would I do that? That's how I build immunities and never got COVID. Right? That's my excuse, and I'm
Yeah.
sticking to it.
Yeah.
We were sick yesterday, actually, but we didn't have COVID, thankfully. But we got a little cold yesterday, and so that's why we didn't do a show. But also, I was burnt out on these fucking man babies, anyways. On the
Ah,
Ryan
man.
Johnson trademarked man babies. Yeah, let's bring that back. Hey, Darth Maximus is with us today. Always good to see you, dude. And my old buddy Star Wars Santa says jingle all the things.
Oh,
So
oh,
please do
oh,
that.
oh, jingle,
Mm-hmm.
jingle, jingle, jingle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, prostate. Oh.
Nipples. Oh no. Well, they went our monetization. Arya says, "Oh boy, oh boy." Hey, Mr. Z says that Nerd Theory podcast had to be the most chaotic thing ever. Theory refused to look at the leak, but Josh kept on acting extremely triggered. Uh-oh. I guess you better do a featured image, Josh, like this. Or whatever the fuck these fucking YouTubers do. You guys are all acting really stupid. Just in general. Just the general like vibe of the week has been stupid. Is all I can say is you all sound fucking stupid. Um and it's okay to have the opinion that you don't like one of the big aspects of it, but to go and then to frame it as a bait and switch and to frame it as this character's the main character, or to be like, all I want is Anakin and Obi-Wan all the time, and if anybody else is in frame, I'm not watching it. Like, it's just
Ooh, they better
fucking,
not watch episodes 1 through 3. Like,
I don't
I
know,
hate
it
to break
just,
it to you. There's a
yeah,
few other characters.
I know. And then it's funny because some of these fucking people are like, will you please unblock me? I'm like, okay,
Oh,
fine. So I unblock them, and then they immediately go and then steal the story, and their idiot followers think that it's like their scoop, and
really?
that they're telling incorrectly. That's not nerd theory. I'm not saying it's them, but just other people. It's just like what is wrong with these guys? But I guess that's
Well,
what
I wonder
happens when
what.
you grow up to be 40 years old like myself and you still talk about laser swords. What do you expect? I guess.
Hey, it's canon.
Mm-hmm.
I
Want to
was
play?
thinking about that,
Want to
like,
play laser
because
swords?
I'm an apologist, and I like to give Disney all the credit. And
Oh,
it's,
that oh
gotta
that
tell you,
guy,
man,
the guy in
I
the
had a
comments.
legitimate chuckle, man. I couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, man, I wish so life would be easier. Um, but I was thinking about it, right? Because it's like there's another scene in Star Wars 77. When Luke's sitting at the table with Owen and Beru, and he goes, I'm thinking about those droids or who their owner was, and Owen goes, I told you not to think about that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, how many other times did Luke have a question and no one was like, don't fucking think about it?
Oh, all the
Just
time.
shut him right off,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Uncle Owen and Luke would be like, "Why is the sky blue?" He'd be like, "Shut up,
Well, what
idiot."
about the time that lady, what was with that lady in the laser sword? And he goes, I told you not to talk about it. Ah!
This
Damn.
farm isn't about her. It's about Kenobi, is what he would say to Luke every time.
Oh,
And Luke would be
shit.
like, "What? Oh no."
Because for all I
Yeah.
know, man, this whole fucking show sucks too, right? And
Oh,
then
for
they're
all
gonna
I
be like, I
know, it
thought you
sucks.
liked it. You watch it,
Yeah.
they're like, you said you were gonna like it. I never said that.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify in case anyone else is concerned.
Mhm.
They aren't. But I just want to clarify it for my own record. Like all I'm saying is, if one thing throws you out of canon, and you're like, they broke it, canon, it was never that way before. I mean, you have to go back to Leia being Luke's sisters as the biggest break of Star Wars canon there ever has been. Like, she
Yeah.
was not his sister. Not ever. It wasn't that way in the story. You know, she's kissing him in the second movie. Even if like he thought after the first movie, you know what, I'll make him sister, brother, haha. But she's like Frenching him and shit. Like, and he's still legitimately in love with her that whole film. You know, he just can't do anything about it. You think he wanted to go and save Han Solo? He was there to save Leia. Like when he goes back to Bespin. You know.
Honestly, if I showed up and I saw Princess Leia in that bikini, I would probably drop kick the carbonite and break him as an ice cube so he died. And I'd be like, uh-oh, Butterfingers. Well, Leia, what do you say you and I,
Like
talk
Emo
about us?
Phillips. Just
Yeah.
call me Mr. Butterfingers.
That's not a power of the Jedi I would tell you about. Thank you for the super chat, Lazerne. I appreciate it. It says, I love all the Fandom Menace channels calling the Kenobi show a bait and switch now. Also, do you know if hunters like Bane or Boscar in Kenobi? I don't believe so. And even like if that is for LOM, if that is for LOM, that is truly him. When they were filming it, they weren't really calling him that. So anyways, so we'll have to see, but I don't believe so. But I do appreciate the support on the channel. Oh, Bespin, I forgot. I was supposed to start the show like Mandem, MSW, Wag Wang Kenobi, bruvs, bait, beef ting, fam. In it come at you with me main weapon, Rob, and me chav, Max, who's not here today. I'm gonna up the duff your minds with some gas spoilers, birds, chirps. I learned how to speak. I learned how to speak in England now. Bespin's teaching me. So I don't think that made any sense to anybody, but trust me, I just talked a bunch of shit. But Rob, you are me main weapon.
What?
Yeah. Right. So it sounds cool, right? It sounds cool, right? Like if I call you my weapon, sounds badass
So
to us. But it actually, I'm actually calling you like my idiot.
Well, I read some kind of papers like several years ago about, because I was always wondering like where did slang come from, like in America, right?
Mhm.
And like that, like people would say, oh, like ghetto speak or whatever, but whatever you want, like apparently originates down in New Orleans, right? Like, and then it comes from pirate ships, or slave ships. And then if you trace it all the way back to England, like these sailors, it's the wee bee, right? Like when people are saying wee bee, like traces back to like all this, like basically modern slang is all just a form of pirate talk,
Yeah.
Like,
Well, did you know if you
still
call a
talking.
pirate, it kick your ass? You don't call it pirate. They don't like that. They're seamen.
Oh no.
It's true.
Oh, look
Seamen.
at that. You
Gotta,
slipped in a pun.
gotta call, but that was true. That was true. I heard that on last podcast last week.
Mm.
So yeah. Yeah, Eric says same here. No COVID, but regular colds are back since I got to be around people again. Yeah, I was glad though. I was relieved, to not be that sick and just to feel a little bit down. And
Do you find having kids you get a little more sick than most people?
all the
Like
time,
they definitely,
it's
yeah.
constantly. Yeah, you get it like way way more. And yeah, yesterday was like a shitty day for me too. It was like 10 years since we lost my daughter to an umbilical cord accident on the day she was going to be born. Not a good day. But the good thing is I can never get over like the magic of life in that was on May 10th. And then my daughter who is alive and with me, Penny, born May 11th. Isn't that crazy? It really kind of cleanses that for me every year. It's amazing.
Huh. You think
Yeah.
Luke gave Owen like tattooing mono, like in shit? He's got to be
Probably.
homeschooled, Luke, right?
I
Like,
mean, I gotta say, Biggs and Luke probably kissed too because Cammy, she's kind of probably not kissing anybody but Fixer because he got that name for a reason. So, anyways, yeah, what's Arya? Arya always stirring the pot. No kidding. Every Star Wars YouTuber on my feed is comparing Kenobi to Episode 9 just because of the leak. Like what? Yeah, well, Arya, actually, like that's been a big thing to me with episode no, seriously, with episode 9 is
No,
I always
no.
try to.
Jason, I'm not. I don't mean to cut you off. It's just the reason why I'm laughing is
Mhm.
because I had an image from of these guys copying that scene from A New Hope where they're like, "We've analyzed the leaks and we found a weakness here in the scene where Reva speaks to Luke Skywalker with the saber. We believe we can get them with the cannon, sir. We can kill them and take the whole show down."
Yeah, yeah, sir. We have identified an SJW weakness, and we wish to exploit it.
With the big 3D like a ball sack, like 3D ball sack behind him, right? And it's like turning around. They're just trying to find
But I
some
mean, but to
fucking
go back to what Arya is saying, like it has brought me back because like when you take things by themselves, you can I could literally, if I wanted to like really grift, I could take any tidbit I get and turn it into a mountain or a molehill into a mountain, as the saying goes. And when it comes to like Star Wars, like you hear these things and you're like, well, I haven't seen it play out. I've heard it in my ear holes, but I haven't seen it. And so you can understand, at least from my perspective, where the creatives are coming from, because I'm usually getting it pretty close to the source of what the creatives are going for when I'm hearing leaks. And so like on episode 9, like I watched the ending of episode 9 evolve, and I was sort of pushed into a place of like defending it because it was always about Rey going up against Palpatine and doing that's always going to be the ending. It doesn't matter what you want. If Rey is our protagonist, the protagonist goes it alone at the end every fucking time. It's just the way it is. And so we always knew it was going to be that. So everyone was like, well, and I hear like the voices are coming to Rey, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm like, are we sure they're not showing up? They're like, they're not showing up. They're not. We literally do not have enough time to have every one of these people in here. We don't have enough time to cast the physical Kanan. We don't have enough time to cast the physical Ezra. In fact, we don't even want to because we're not going to use that now. So it was like, I knew this, but I have to bring the news. Yeah, this happens. These are the characters who show up. Everybody's fucking just like, oh, arguing something that's not even in my expertise at this point. Like that's your opinion and your feeling. I'm telling you what is, right? But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, but you know what? Like at the end of the day, it's like Rey's story. So if Luke Skywalker does a karate kicks out of her uterus and then strangles Palpatine, that's really not Rey doing it. At the end of the day, Rey needs to like do this. And so like I always try to be on the side of the stories, like, okay, so that sounds a little wacky, but let's see how it plays out. I think that's the only fair, responsible thing to do in this kind of situations. So I always try to be on the side of things. And here I am. Now we're in 2022, and I ironically am clearing YouTube comments, and I'm seeing all of the 2019 comments and the 2022 comments. And boy, have we not changed or grown up. And what have I learned? Not much, because I am still having to, transverse these waters, if you will. So only thing I could say is no one has seen it. In fact, most of the people that are talking about it haven't even read my report, which would be nice. I could use the cash. But that said, they're like getting this shit third, fourth hand. Josh at Den of Nerds created this idea. He literally became the comic writer for the Fandom Menace this out. I mean, I don't know if he's still one or if he is one, but might as well be one since he's forming their like discourses for them and feeding it to everyone. And I'm disappointed in that, honestly. I thought, I thought he was a little bit more on the up and up, but I'm disappointed. But anyways, yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm making a little video here, and it's the whole thing as I understand it, and I'll have it out pretty soon. I recorded the audio I read what I wrote, and recorded that, and if anybody bothers to actually, not just read a headline from some guy having a fucking, I don't know, spasm on the internet, you'll see that what they're saying is utterly ridiculous. Now, and to be clear, I'm not saying if you don't like what Luke sees, if you have an opinion that is not your cup of tea, that's your opinion, man. You know what I mean?
100%.
But if
100%.
your opinion is it's the Reva show, it's a bait and switch, and it's all Reva all the time, you're fucking nuts. You didn't read
Right.
anything I wrote. Or
Right.
you read about 20 lines out of thousands of lines I wrote, and that's what you've decided to turn and to ignite. And makes you a disingenuous person who preys upon the stupidity of the audience. And I just
Ironic
tell
thing
the
about it too,
Mhm,
Jason.
yeah.
Ironic thing about it too is the same people who are like, I just wanted it about these two characters, no other, are also like, I wonder what characters are gonna have a cameo in Doctor Strange 2. It better be all these new all the X-Men better be in the Doctor Strange movie. If they're not,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like it. Like, you see, like, it just
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
shake these fucking guys, man. Like,
And
there's no
'cause
consistency,
well,
Jason. That's all I'm
like
asking for.
yeah, their narrative doesn't have consistency. And they want to talk shit about Disney's narrative consistencies. Look at your own. That said, I'm not here to cheerlead for Disney. I really don't give a shit if their stock goes
Right.
up or down or sideways. I don't own Disney stock. I'm not going to own Disney stock. I don't give a fuck. Like, I really don't care. I care about Star Wars. I care about the story. And all I could say is right now, having not seen it, what I've seen, I haven't seen the whole thing, but what I've seen and what I've heard, I believe it's a pretty solid story. I think it's about as good as they can do. And my advice to everyone would be if this does come out and it does not work for you and it sucks, it's probably time, in my opinion, for you to jump ship and leave Star Wars behind and find things that you enjoy because um from the sound of things, I think this is as good as they could possibly do. That's my sincere
Also,
opinion. Mhm,
the big difference between this and episode 9, having seen that movie once, never wanting to ever again, and
mhm.
seeing nothing with this, episode 9 was made in like what, 14 months from start to finish. You know,
No,
like written
not
super
really, but
fast, dude. But you know,
it
understand what I mean?
was,
Like,
yeah.
written, this show is the opposite of a rush job. Like,
Well,
that's what I'm
yeah,
trying to say.
with episode 9, as I'm reporting things, they're literally refilming and changing things. I'm, like, literally reporting things as they happened on that one, and so it was like, and when you take any of the bits from 9 by themselves and just look at it, you're like, yeah, it's not. I think the real critique of episode 9 comes at the cohesion of the ideas together. Not one check mark, check box, each. It's the totality. And that's my opinion of it. But at the same time, um, this Kenobi story, I just honestly really believe in it. I sincerely do. If I thought it was like going to be really bad, I would tell you guys I would be critical of it. When I started hearing stuff about Book of Boba like really late, and I was like, oh, you know what? I probably don't see it all. I probably don't understand it all. You know what I mean? So I was just like,
Right.
I'm gonna kind of out of sight, out of mind, and more experience it. Let most of it go. This one,
And
I worked it. I pretty much got all of it, and I don't I don't have any red flags going off other than that thing. I knew the thing that I reported with Luke was the thing that would be the thing. And I was like, well, does it break it? No, it actually doesn't. Does it inform canon? Does it expand upon canon? Yes, it does. Do people have to like it? No, they don't. But can they say it breaks canon? No, they can't because it actually
people
doesn't.
own these people own a grip of fucking Mando merch, bro. You know, that's what's crazy about it. But they're bitching about Disney and they got Mando merch. They have Disney Plus. They pay for everything. You know, like
Mhm.
it's they're buying the Marvel comics, which guess what? That money goes right to Disney. You know, you buy that video game, guess where that money goes? You buy that video game, guess where that money goes? It goes right to Disney. Like, I
Well,
just don't understand. Like, if you want to, you have to do what I did for 10 years. You have to never give them your time, attention, or money. And I did. and people complain Rob doesn't watch Clone Wars. I'm still mad about those prequels. I won't let go of my anger. I haven't learned the lessons, but I recognize there are lessons, and it would be horrendous. I couldn't imagine spending that 10 years going on YouTube and Tumblr or wherever else and trying to like rail against anything that's being done at that time and take away whatever goodwill people have toward the Clone Wars or anything that was going on. I couldn't imagine filling my life with that kind of shit. Just, well, Rob, you could have paid your bills that way. I'm like, man, yeah, you could just rob a bank too. You want to get paid. Like, I mean, like, you can do all sorts of shitty fucking things. Like, how about just don't be a dick? Also,
That's
a good lesson
words
to
to live by.
too is when people explain stories to you, it omits the emotion. There's no way you can translate the emotion of scenes to people. You know what I mean? Like that's why when somebody asked me the other day, they're like, "Hey, man, what would be your idea for this movie or that movie?" I'm like, it's irrelevant because you need to feel scenes, you need to feel moments. And if I gave you a list of this would happen and that would happen, that doesn't mean anything. You have to base stuff on feelings. And I think the one emotion you've been very clear on with the Kenobi series is that he goes from having no hope to having hope. Like that I mean, how could you have any hope after experiencing the events of episode 3, right? Like as Obi-Wan. I mean,
logically, it's the most realistic thing that they could have done. Right? I mean,
because it is confusing though, like canon wise, right? Like if you're gonna take Lucas's feelings on attachment as like Jedi can't have attachment, then why would they give Luke to an aunt and uncle that he's gonna grow up and have attachment to? Obi-Wan should have just taken him in the desert and trained him himself, but we're still stuck with that premise of episode 4, so you have no choice. That's where I was hoping the lesson was attachment isn't the problem. The problem is doing the wrong fucking thing. Vader has attachment to Luke at the end of Jedi. He just does the right thing. Like he.
Yeah. And I also think like you strive for, not to have attachment. Like you can't say, it's like not like they walk around like it's not like Obi-Wan and Anakin don't love each other like family. It's not like when Qui-Gon dies, Obi-Wan's just like, welp, that was him.
They're ideals, not holy rules. Yes, they're ideals that we're trying, and that's something that the prequels definitely failed. He could have somewhere been like, look, we try to do this, Anakin. You know what I mean? I know you're gonna feel feelings for Padme. You're gonna have it. We get it, but the reason why we don't, right, is because we serve a higher cause. He's like, I serve getting laid. Push, smack a drink right out of his hand.
Want to hear the most like man baby fucking thing I've ever heard of in my life? I heard that somebody said it to me. I just saw it. They those types, they were taking this photo and they photoshopped the girls out of it and they moved Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor together and made them like they were like the only things in the photo. And I was just like, you guys are like fucking something else.
It's weird, man.
It's weird.
Everyone
it's really
great,
weird.
though, by the way.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a stylist. Everyone's got a stylist, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I had some money, that would be the one thing I'd keep. It's like I need someone to dress me because I can't do it myself.
I don't know about those shoes, Chow. I don't know about those shoes. No, I'm kidding.
I can't see her shoes.
You know what?
Barefoot like Peter Jackson? Is she doing
pretty much? No, I noticed that the guys their pant legs are really high. Like fucking like I don't get this high water style. Like you can see Kenobi socks. It's like, come on, dude. What? I don't know. I guess I don't endorse it. I mean, everything
got that late 70s, early 80s hair going.
Well, Hayden has like a Darth Vader jacket, but Ewan kind of has a little bit of a Bespin Han Solo thing going on, I'd say. Just gonna throw that out there.
Well, Luke has that similar jacket, right?
Yeah.
It's like
I think Luke is
whatever Hoth jacket. Whatever.
Yeah, I think Luke got all his clothes from Han Solo's closet, in my opinion.
This
Until
Ingram
they be-
over there is just like, I'm showing everyone how to fucking dress.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I want to
Look at
go.
that tiny little Vader in shot too.
I
Look
want.
at
I
that
want
one
to.
way
I
over
want to
there.
take her to on a vacation to Tokyo and I'll play Dance Dance Revolution with her. But
Bro,
yeah.
I'm the worst at that game.
Yeah, me
Got
too.
no rhythm.
I've never actually played it, but I just imagine people in puffy jackets with playing that game.
Right.
Young Boomer says, "Good times are a coming." It is. Yeah, yeah. It's important to not let anybody ruin your time, and I hope that the people who are sincerely freaked out by the weirdness that they've been confronted with, I hope that they see through it and make up their own mind when they watch the fucking show. But if you're gonna read spoilers, you gotta. Excuse me. If you're gonna read spoilers, you gotta just like roll with it. You gotta go like I don't have all of the stuff. That's why like I do my best to get the intentions. So when I do explain the spoilers, like I know what they're going for, and then we're able to go. Why not?
Right.
Why would they do that? Baymax says Star Wars Qui-Gon Anon is having a field day with All About Reva. All About Reva coming to Disney Plus. Mr. Ruff says, "Hey Jason, just wanted to thank you for clarifying the stuff in that leak yesterday. Even I'm spoiled myself with the show. I don't care because I'm so excited." That's good, man. Me too. And one of the things about it, like one of the things I like about spoilers and knowing the ending is when I heard it, I was like, that's good. I thought it was really good actually. But I was also went, wait, does the lightsaber like actually get turned on? Like does it? And they're like, yeah, that's what we film, man. And I'm like, all right. But I was a little bit like, I was like, I don't know if the record scratch when I heard that was my reaction or knowing what their reaction was going to be. I oftentimes don't know how people are going to take things. Like I thought when I reported that Grogu thing, about Grogu in Mandalorian season 3, I thought everyone was going to stand up and give a standing ovation because I thought it was the most amazing thing ever. And then and it got everyone was like, I don't know about that. I want to live with Luke Skywalker. And I'm just like, well, I don't know what to fucking tell you. They didn't do that.
But that would contradict the canon in episode 7.
Lego fan says, why is Padme in the thumbnail? Because she's my girlfriend. That's why. Eric Denton says, at best, Owen was only mentally abusive to Luke. At best. Yeah. He's like, wait, he's like looking at the water levels. He's like, there's not enough water in here. I'm going to beat the shit out of you and you're going to fill that up with your tears. And that's how he gets the
Bro,
water.
you're giving me PTSD to my childhood. I'll tell you some stories sometime, a very demanding father.
Yeah. Oh, and hello there, Dell. Aria says, imagine if the ending was a trap by Disney and they made all of these crybabies look bad. Oh, I wouldn't like that because that would mean I was tricked.
I just like how they capitalized ending but left Disney little d.
Yeah. Well, what I find like interesting too is like their conceptualization of the movie making process. They like will go like, that's Disney did it, and it's like you guys do realize like Disney didn't write this like in a boardroom. This is literally like was written by writers who decided that's how it was going to go. Like that was their suggestion, that was their idea about how it was going to happen. And the writers that you're calling Disney write for everybody and everything. So it's really strange. It's just like it's like they compress it into this like pinata, and then they hit the pinata, and then the candy comes out.
Kenobi was the only white like male on the council. Jedi council. I mean, Qui-Gon, and then he dies, and then Kenobi ends up on there.
Fuck.
POD Mundi's.
They wouldn't put Qui-Gon on it because they were so fucking woke. Why is the white man always being held back? They wouldn't put Anakin on it because he wasn't a master. Because he wasn't a white master. God, I hate these fucking woke ass Jedi.
Turns out Reva was next in line downstairs. She was right outside that door. You know, like there's a way to take her, right? Like the 15-year-old version, just like put her into every scene when they open the door, she's right there, right?
Yeah.
The whole prequel. Like as she grows up.
Well, okay, so what I'm gonna go today and I'm gonna write a fake story and I'm gonna say that it turns out Reva's Mace Windu's daughter and she shows up as a Force ghost instead of Qui-Gon Jinn now. What do you think?
Like right afterward.
Yeah. No, like they've cut Liam Neeson. He kept pissing his pants, and now Reva's the Force ghost. That's a good one. Desala says, jerks on the internet somehow deduced based on your leaks, Kenobi is woke. I'm sick of it. Yeah, you know what? I would love to even take credit that it was based on my leaks, but honestly, let's just be real. It was based on someone's skin color, wasn't it? Jamie says, what the fuck is a bait and switch anyways? I know, Jamie. I know. Like it's like they're making like Josh is trying to sell this idea that like it's the Reva series and that it's and then Theory, I guess. I don't watch their show that much. I have just seen moments of it, but from what I have reduced from people messaging me and sending me clips and shit, is he wants it to just be Obi-Wan and Anakin. And for whatever reason, he feels that he was promised this. I don't know why.
Jason, I'll tell you what a bait and switch is. I went to go see Spider-Man No Way Home, and the fucker never leaves New York. He's always home. There's shots where he's at his apartment. There's shots where he's always in the city. I came for leaving the home. He got home. He's been home. It's a whole movie. He's home.
Well, I'll tell you what the actual bait and switch is. It's claiming that the series is about Reva, and when it comes out, it's not. And who's doing that? Who's the actual baiter? Who's the master baiter here?
Master. I'm waiting for that. Got me on that one.
Luke Miller says, dude, I think this show will crush numbers for Mando and Book of Boba Fett. So excited. Also, any new scoops leak soon? I'm more right now consolidating what I got and also trying not to jump too far ahead. Me and Bespin I was working in my sleep last night. I was sick working in my sleep last night, messaging Bespin, and me and Bespin know some things about some other project from Star Wars. We're like going back and forth, and I just remembered right now. I was like, oh shit, there's stuff to talk about there. But I'll get together with Bespin. We'll figure out what the best course of action is on that bit of BTS.
The real crushing numbers are the numbers we got for the Avatar trailer. 24 hours.
Yeah.
What was the number? 148 million
Are you
years.
fucking happy? Are you fucking happy? Oh, your blue cat people. You and your Chinese empire.
That's why I'm blue today. So I'm hiding my force tail underneath the camera.
I made the Chinese empire joke, but were those numbers largely based on China? I was curious if that was the case, because you told me that
I don't know.
China. You told me they Chinese people love Avatar, just like Germans love David Hasselhoff. I was wondering if that's what it was.
I'll tell you this. So I saw the trailer in 3D yesterday. I went to see Doctor Strange in a 3D setting. And, you get through all these trailers with the fake 3D, right? They're not really 3D. They're kind of like you're seeing a 2D image. But you jump to that Avatar trailer, it's fucking night and day, bro. Like that trailer is something completely different in 3D, my friend. Like it's not even the same experience. I went and had to tweet out. I didn't know John Lando, the producer, doesn't see it because I'm not important. But I had to at least do it. Because these 3D trailers should all be available on the Oculus Quest or PS4.
I'm verified and he's verified, and so I retweeted it for you, knowing he would see it in the verified tab. So he saw it, or at least he should have saw it.
Yeah. But they really should, because I'm telling you, man, like the fuck, they're amazing. And then they could release the 3D Star Wars films on VR and let you watch it.
Oh yeah,
it's better resolution than my plasma. I got a 1080p 3D plasma downstairs, bro. Like. So yeah. I don't understand any of this. It's ridiculous.
So really quickly, based off of Yoink999's message or question, in the Kenobi series, does Vader kill a bunch of Force sensitives on the planet of Jabim where Kenobi is healing after the first fight? So in the thing I'm doing tomorrow, or I don't know what it might be out today. It might be out tomorrow. I'm going to Legoland tomorrow, actually. So I'm taking the kids to Legoland for like a press thing. But anyways, I on that one right there, something fishy happened in production. And I don't know what the fish is, but here's what I think may have happened. I think they may have filmed the conclusion of Jabim 2 ways, because I've spoken to people who worked on that episode in those moments. And I've heard like, oh no, there's not like really like a force thing there. And I've heard, oh yeah, dude, Kamel Nanjiani is like passing out force crystals. And I think he's a sabersmith. And it's like, and for the record, I trust both sources, both of these two very different opinions. So I think what happened, in my opinion, was maybe the emphasis changed and they filmed it two different ways, or maybe they filmed a bunch of the Jabim soldiers and maybe they filmed a bunch of the Jabim force sensitives, and it was kind of two separate things, and they were kind of keeping them apart, and then together they come into the edit. It kind of makes the most sense to me. That's where my head is at the moment. Okay, trying to make sense of this, and so for the record, based off of everything that I've heard from both ends of that report, it doesn't end well for everybody. And from the people I've spoken to, you would think they all die. I have a hard time imagining, though, that this thing that's supposed to be uplifting to Kenobi and a part of his escape from the planet then has everybody wiped out. Finito, the end. I don't think that could be the case. So once again, we are back to 2019. All I know is Kylo goes in the fucking hole and he's dead. Okay, you know what I mean? If
Kylo go down
Daisy,
the hole.
yeah, if Daisy Ridley fucking comes out and French kisses them all and brings them back to life, at this moment I don't know. But point is that I do think that's what happens though. So in the thing I'm putting out, that's like the whole story. That as far as to my understanding of it, I gloss over that. And that's because I'm not trying not to over promise or overemphasize anything. And in that thing that I recorded the audio for it today, what I did was I took all of these notes that I had, put them all together, tried to order them, and tried to figure out how they connect. And I'm trying to present that to everyone. So I hope right now the rough edit of that audio was about 17 minutes. And I hope when I put it out that you guys watch it, and I hope that like you get a sense of the story and kind of like what the real estate looked like in terms of what they were filming. If that makes any sense, like how much time was given. And boy, I can tell you
down to 10 minutes. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I haven't
do some
I haven't
jump
edited
cut edits or something like
yeah. Well,
you know.
I mean, I'm doing 6 episodes of a TV show.
I'm just telling you,
no.
Meg could do it in 10 minutes. You gotta, it's possible.
But Meg also has the best voice on YouTube, I think, in my opinion. I saw somebody in her comments was like, do you auto-tune your voice? Are you a robot? Are you the original Meg who started the show? I was like, are you fucking a real person? God, who would talk to somebody? I felt bad for Meg. I was like, who does this fucking dude think he is? A fucking maniac, you know?
We all speak stupid. I mean, no robot speaking like me because I'm practically illiterate.
Like, yeah. Well, like it's like in schools, there's a big emphasis on bullying, and I agree with it. Bullying is bad. And people get on the internet, and that's what they do. They try to be bullies, but also at the same time, just basic, etiquette, just basic politeness online needs to be taught, I think, because I don't know why anybody would go like into Meg's show and then demand answers as if she owes them anything, Same thing with those like face reveal people. Who gives a fuck what Meg's face looks like, I mean, I hope it's pretty and beautiful and everything like that, but I don't care. I care about the job that she does, and that's what we're there for. Not
we had people
there to look at her.
Chat room, Jason, demand I look at the camera. So now I'm never not looking. See this? Now I'm staring at you the whole.
Yeah.
Look me in the eye. Qui-Gon Jinn on Atlanta.
What?
Liam Neeson was on Atlanta.
He was? No,
Oh,
I'm
I'm
not
not gonna
caught
ruin
up.
it for you.
Okay,
But
cool.
after the yeah, yeah, it's great.
Okay. Yeah, I need to get caught up on Atlanta. I was dating somebody and we were watching it together. Then I'm not dating that person anymore, and it's kind of just like broke the rhythm of watching that show. You know how that goes. Sheep says,
No.
"I'm excited for the prospects of a Feige Star Wars movie." Yeah, let's. How about we talk about that before we get too far into this bitch fest of a day? Oh yeah.
2017 again. It's 2017 again. Isn't it 2017 or 2018 when that was announced? What was it?
I feel like it was around 2018. It was like the Game of Thrones. I believe the Game of Thrones guys got that
Just
sweet
quit.
ass deal, quit. And for the record, anybody who tries to add that in as evidence about Lucasfilm sucking, by all means, hold their feet to the fire. But don't use that as evidence because those guys got like $100 million buyout. I'm sorry, but it was going to take a lot of fucking sweet love for somebody to pass up on
You,
$100 million. I mean,
you can just hire an ILM artist to direct your films for nothing. Make it super easy. Oh, I know. The Mr. Knoll has been aching to do it for
right.
years, but yeah, yeah, we won't let
So,
him. Nope.
what? So this is an interview with Michael Waldron, and Waldron. They asked him. Variety asked Michael Waldron. Now that you're done with this movie, how far along are you with the Star Wars movie you're working on with Feige? And he says, we're finally into it in earnest. I mean, I'm writing away. It's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying having the freedom on that to do something that's not necessarily a sequel or anything. It maybe has a little bit less of it just doesn't have a bunch of TV shows and movies that you're servicing on top of it, the way I did with Doctor Strange. So it's nice. It feels like a different exercise. So that's pretty interesting, right? There's a
Yeah,
lot
it's
that
a
was
standalone. You know,
it means that
which means it's not Kidster as well, which is a bummer.
Yeah. Yeah, if Feige really knew what the fans want, if he was really going to bring that Marvel magic over, Star Wars Kitster would be a thing. But yeah, I actually hope that I'm actually like a little bit over like the named things too, Star Wars Bib Fortuna, like enough. You know what I mean? Like make up cool names for stuff, The Empire Strikes Dick, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Oh
Give us
yeah,
titles.
I'm with you on that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Forbidden
Um,
fucking. That was that one I wanted for episode 2. But
right. But anyways, so
Fruits of
like
Fear. Sorry.
if Waldron if they're in it now, if you look at it we heard it was announced. When it was announced, I have to assume, I mean, there's a chance that he's like, I'm Kevin Feige, bitch. And they were like, you're Kevin Feige, bitch. And like he didn't even have to say what he was going to do, just that he was going to do one. It could be that open. But let's pretend it was more formal. And if it was more formal, then sometime in 2018, if not before, Feige came and said, I have this idea. I think I make a good Star Wars movie. I'd like to produce it. And they were like, all right. And then they didn't announce it until they needed something good to announce. That they maybe held that in their back pocket until something like the Game of Thrones guys jumping ship for $100 million, which once again, I completely fucking understand. Generations of your family will live off of that money. It would be so wrong of you to stay with Star Wars when you could literally bring generations of prosperity to your family. So I get where they were coming from, or just, a bunch of cocaine, whatever they're into. That said, they're
I
writing
do
it
want to say with those
now.
guys, I know a lot of people don't like the last season, and I do feel the story of that last season should have just taken place over 2 seasons. I like the story. I just think they
Yeah,
rushed the telling of it.
I'm with you.
But the scene at the end where the mountain and fights his brother on that castle wall with fire around was how I imagined the volcano fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin back in the 80s. Something more like that. Like, where it was just like two guys with just fire everywhere, not Not standing on droids, you know, the
Yeah.
droids glowing eyes and shit. So I don't know. I thought that was actually really well done.
But if Feige probably had the idea years ago. He's does a ton of Marvel work. I don't know how the guy finds the time to do that, let alone this, but he's had years to, have shower thoughts and make notes and probably pass them over to Waldron and be like, "What do you think?" And then them to work out an outline and start writing. So the kind of the question I have is, could this movie be coming earlier than any of the slated things that we've seen? Like, me
A
and
May
Bespin
release.
usually talk about Taika's movie, and I have no idea how that one could come out anytime soon. And he's more cynical about it, I think, than I am. Not to put words in his mouth, but I think he's more cynical about it than I am. And I'm a little bit like, well, Taika's writing it with someone. He's probably not the main writer, it's kind of like handing it over a little bit. And so who knows what's going on there. But we don't believe Rogue Squadron will be out in 2023. I don't think any of us really truly think that is possible. And if it does happen, it probably won't be very good, I would think. But
Paramount doesn't think it's possible.
right.
I can assure
Yeah.
you this.
Hmm. Um, does Paramount own Top Gun? Is there a vested interest in not letting Rogue Squadron happen? Think about it. But
That movie was so hard to make. Their only
Top
interest they
Gun,
have
both Top
is
Gun
recouping a
movies.
cost.
Yeah,
You
both
know,
Top Gun movies were a nightmare to. I don't know if it was a nightmare for part 2, but part 1 was a nightmare.
part two is a nightmare.
Yeah, it sounds like they was the most complicated thing to get done ever. But anyways, I'm kind of wondering if maybe this one hasn't been slated, but may come earlier, or are they just going to get that script and just simply sit on it and develop it for a long time? I don't know. I don't know what other things Waldron has on his slate. Like, maybe this is 6 months he has, or 4 months he has to write a rough draft, and then he'll write the second draft,
Well,
in a year. It could be something like that, or it could be coming sooner.
Marvel's process for this is a little bit different. So normally in Hollywood, when they hire writers, they go, okay, then the guys disappear and they kick you a script like 3 months later, 6 months later, whenever the agreement is, and then
Mm-hmm.
they pitch you on their whole thing, and then they give notes, and then they go back into their hole, they disappear, and they show back. Marvel can't do that. Like I've been rereading that Marvel Studios book, and they're like very early on when they had planned to make all these movies connected, they're like, we don't have time for that fucking process. So what they did was, on top of having a visual development studio that continues developing projects, and so they never lose their artists, they have a writers development room where they hire a writer for at least a year, and they just develop things. And what they'll do is all script doctoring, anything that happens, right, that needs to get fixed, goes through that writers room internally. So my guess is he's at least for a year at the studio working on this.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't something where he sits in his room and conjures it up, and yeah, they don't have time for that.
Waldron gonna Waldron, Waldron in the Waldron. Is that what that's what he sings when he writes, right? I did
Well, it
Loki
does
suck
now. He
my
does
dick.
now.
I did Loki kiss my butt. Waldron
Yeah,
gonna Waldron.
I'm just
I
telling you, you have a full album ahead
Mhm.
of you. Like,
Yeah.
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 So I imagine if he's right now, he's probably 6 months into this. Given right 3 to 6
Yeah.
months. So we're looking at about a year before they have a final draft or whatever. When they're probably happy to go in with production. Then you're looking at about a 2 year window from there. And I'm talking about soon as possible,
So
right?
so so
And
yours
so
yeah. What is your soonest possible release window?
2025.
2025. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
2025.
Yeah.
Because I mean that's still making a film in 2 years. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that, which is incredibly difficult, but they're used to that. So
Yeah. Yeah. I also feel like, with I mean, I hate to be that I am very much against saying what I'm about to say usually. But with this one being so far out, I do wonder if this is an actual Old Republic story, because he's saying it doesn't tie in. It's not a High Republic story, because we have two High Republic series coming, a bunch of books. all that stuff. So it's clearly not that. And then it doesn't sound like it connects to much of anything that it has to be beholden to. And so I'm kind of curious if maybe Feige's sort of thing is going to be kicking that off. You know, who knows though. I hope it's just something completely fucking I never even considered, something just new in an era that's never been even conceptualized in Star Wars. That'd be great. That's my actual hope for it. But I won't be disappointed if it's not. You know, I mean, Feige's good at bringing a lot of fun stuff, and he's really, I mean, good at letting his writers do an amalgamation of genre in compelling ways. And so Star Wars needs that. I don't know. I don't believe Star Wars needs to become Marvel. I don't think they're the same thing.
Well,
But
Marvel, they
the
define it pretty
methods.
easily. Like
Mm-hmm.
they even talk about this. Like they're like, it's comedy with stakes. That's basically how they
Yeah,
call it. It's the Ghostbusters template. It's the,
Indiana
you
Jones,
know,
later
Indiana
Indiana Jones
Jones.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, to some
And
extent.
so they would not define Star Wars as comedies with stakes. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think Kevin Feige
Okay.
is thinking about it in terms of that framework. You know, I think there's something else, and they probably have a definition in their own mind. But I would not. Is Empire Strikes Back a comedy with stakes? You know, like no. Is The New Hope a comedy with stakes? The
Well, I mean,
closest to it would be A New Hope,
but
but
well,
even then,
Empire pulls from the screwball comedy though. The whole thing between Han and Leia is literally derived from that genre. But I am just splitting hairs. But you see what I'm saying?
right, but when Luke
Like
is
yeah,
hanging off something, he's not going to make a joke about it. It was
yeah.
their exact description was, if you're hanging off a ledge, you're certain to die. You're gonna crack a joke because
You mean he doesn't look
like
at Yoda when he's sitting on his hands, going, "From this perspective, you look tall." Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
shit
By the
like
way, I can
that.
see your little Yoda dick. You know, like
Yeah.
oh no, don't do that. That's not Star Wars.
This gives a new meaning to turtle head. Anyways, Carla says, I'm tired of the channels that are saying Kenobi is going to be trash or is woke. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I would even throw it out there that I mean, obviously it's a grift. I fall into it too that they're sincere and that you could enlighten them or change their minds. I don't think you probably can. But the thing about it is if at this point you're fighting that concept in any way, that war was lost long ago. I mean, it's just true. I mean, when you get down to it, I mean, everything that they call woke is already happened, is happening, and will continue to happen. Because if they were to do what they call woke, undo what they call woke, and make everything white dudes, it would make less money. It would be bad capitalism. Then they would find something else to pick on. And they would just say, it goes nowhere. Like that's what sucks about it is ultimately this all goes in circles and nowhere. Because Disney is about capitalism first and foremost, and making capital. And if they don't, it's actually against the law because they are beholden to their shareholders to generate capital for their shareholders. So if they were to go and do the opposite of that, it would actually be bad for them too. I mean, just the way it is. Idiots. Jamie says, "Yeah, I'm getting tired of seeing those anti-woke agenda level anti-woke agenda. Those channels are full of it. Yeah, no, it's that's yeah. I mean, I follow though. Carlos says, "Thanks, Jason, for your work." Thank you, Carl. I appreciate that. It's nice for someone to say thank you instead of I didn't get what I wanted. You know, it would be if they said I didn't get what I wanted. Thank you. I'd be like, hey, cool. You know, I hope you like it when it comes out. Zooey says the leaks don't bother me as much at all, to be honest. 10 years between Luke seeing a lightsaber and Kenobi and A New Hope, 9 to 19 years. I don't think it's that big of a deal, right?
I also
No.
think, judging the way Owen talks to Luke in A New Hope, I imagine plenty of times he asked questions about shit, and Owen was constantly, "I told you not to think about that. I told you not to worry about that. You just do
Yeah.
what I tell you to do." I mean,
Go
Luke
fix the
has them. What
droids.
about the droids? What about the original master? I don't want to hear. I told you, he could have told him that's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Turns out your father built that thing right around the fucking corner, to help his slave mother. Like, I told you not to worry about that, you stupid idiot. Like he almost smacks him.
I mean, well, it's like Star Wars is deeply steeped in genre, and just looking. I mean, look at Cammy and Fixer. Just look at what just them living in not in the real world, but in a world of genre. What's already happened to them? They were cut from the fucking movie, and we've already seen them get harassed and beat up by pirates. So my point is that I think it's safe to say that periodically nothing happens because the genre says this is just a quiet farm until something does happen, and things probably Uncle Owen is supposed to be a badass. That was the idea, is that like there was scenes for A New Hope films with Biggs where he's like, your uncle could hold off a whole, tribe of Tuscans with one rifle or something like that. So he's adept at survival on that place, but it stands to reason that he's probably seen Owen fight some people, fuck some shit up over the years too. And
you think
so I just I think you could make it work for yourself is where I'm going with this.
Right. Do you think Luke ever tried to grow a mustache like Biggs?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you know what he looked like?
He only got the stuff on the side. He looked like,
he looked like a middle school pot dealer is what he looked like when he tried to grow it.
Like if what's his fucking face, dude? Joe
Reynolds?
Dirt. What's that actor?
Oh, Spade. David Spade.
David Spade played a Klingon. Like, you have
yeah. Young Boomer says, and young Boomer, and to everyone who's a channel member, thank you for being a channel member, and thanks to everyone who gives super chats and supports the channel. It means a lot. The Young Boomer says, I've always tried to walk the line between super fans and fandom menace, or Jolie Bindo Grey Jedi, that shit. But Kenobi is my line in the sand. The fandom menace can fuck off, or First Order. I'm not sure which, but yeah, I definitely like my sort of internet sociologist, anthropologist befuddlement is that, like, do those people have fun being mean bullies?
Yeah.
Is that where the fun lies? Because it doesn't seem fun. It seems horrible.
I was thinking about why I was getting so angry, right? Like, because I was like, why I get triggered? I don't even care if the show's fucking, if it's good or not, whatever. I can live with mediocre Star Wars, like, fine.
Yeah.
But I don't deal well with bullies, Jason. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a strong dude. I've lost more fights than I'd ever fucking win. I do not fucking deal well with bullies, Yeah. I was bullied my entire childhood, you know what I mean? And I have defended people who've been bullied. And I just don't like, these guys are bullies who've decided they found a real easy way of getting to people through the magic of air. They don't have to come into their house and smack them around or harass them. They can just get them all riled up and get them to think their whole, because a lot of people are impressionable, dude. A lot of people are impressionable. It's not a bad thing.
And to be fair, there's bullies on both political spectrums in the Star Wars fandom. 100 fucking %. You know what I mean?
I don't deal with any. 100%. I don't deal with bullying at all. Which is why if you love something, I'll be like, that's ridiculous. But I'm not gonna go, well, you're a fucking idiot for liking that movie. Like, that would be ridiculous. Yeah. And then you go that step further, and because you like it, you're for communism. You know what I mean? And you're a groomer. Like, this is so this is so ridiculous.
Yeah. It's a huge bummer. It just is at the end of the day. But like I said, I don't get how they have fun. And if either they have fun in the worst way, like I said, or they just don't have fun. They seem miserable. They seem like they're always having to take a shit when they talk. Arya says a Lego set got leaked about Kenobi's fight, and the description of the set sounds a lot like Mustafar. Can we expect that to happen since Nur is the same system that Mustafar is in? This is where things get a little bit muddled and a little bit confusing, because so I was told that the fight is on the moon of Mustafar, and Nur is also a moon of Mustafar, and so I don't think I believe like the first fight is on Nur itself and maybe onto the ship of Roken. Maybe they fight and something like that, like almost like onto the bridge of the ship or something. I'm not totally sure. The stuff's not real. You know what I mean at times, so it's kind of hard to figure out. And then but I believe that when they're going to escape um for the ending to get Leia home, Kenobi has to go and be like the diversion. I'm going to take them here. Roken, you take Leia to Alderaan. I think that's what is the most likely scenario in how that washes out. And so I believe I know it's a refinery. And obviously the concept art tells us that. I think you could just take that from it. But I don't know if they go like back to Mustafar. I could logically see how it could be sort of a way of Kenobi fucking with Anakin. Like, I'm gonna take you back to where I fucking burned you up and fight you
And we
there.
haven't seen
But
any real completed footage, anything of any of the fights between Kenobi and Vader. So it's like
yeah.
all we have now are really your story beats, you know. And the
Yeah.
one time we saw anything with Vader in it, people wouldn't even believe it was real, and it's clearly real.
Yeah. And
That's
the
great.
only thing I would have probably done differently is I probably would have had Kenobi show up to Vader's castle on Mustafar, and I would have had
Yeah.
everyone go to back up Vader and Vader go leave us, and then it's just me and him, that kind of thing.
Yeah, in the
And then
castle, man.
and that's what I would have done, and that's what I was kept hoping was sort of what happened.
That
But I that is not what I have seen any evidence for, unfortunately. But that's the
that
one thing
would
I would have
be what
done.
we call good fan service.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Is it fan servicey? Yes. Is it good
Sure.
fan service? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the very nature of this beast is fan service, and it's like the whole thing is doing fan service with class. I mean, that's at the end of the day the thing that Star Wars needs to be the master of. I think that's my take anyway. You guys could let me know what you think though. Zooey says also will be awesome to see Vader kill Reva like a live action Fallen Order, right? Right? Yeah. No, I mean it's that's like the that's what I thought was ultimately going to be what people were taken from it. Like when they were like, oh, like the people that are like, oh, she's interjecting between my two boys, I thought they were gonna be like, oh yeah, then he fucking kills her because she's not at their level. She's not a player in this like how they are. And but I guess you see what you want to see. Also, to the guys who keep messaging me like, of course they weren't gonna let a white man kill a black woman on screen. Woke Disney. I hate to tell you this, but a white man does kill Reva. Just not paying attention. Jamie says, if the show is really woke, then Reva will save Obi-Wan and everyone will kick Darth Vader's ass, but it's not. Come on. Yeah, I know. At the end, she'll be like, Obi-Wan, come with me. And he'd be like, wait, did you say he could come with me? Because I go by they. That's how it would have went. But it didn't go that way, did it?
The crazy part about the woke thing and conservatives being triggered by it is fucking old Alex Jones himself for 10 years was yelling out, wake up, people! Right? We telling everyone to wake up. And when they woke, right, then he's like, stop being woke, go to sleep, people! It's just the funniest fucking thing.
I'm gonna try to be fair here. Like our buddy Santa is a conservative. And even he feels that a lot of this is motivated by. I don't want to put words into his mouth. He could always come on and speak for himself or watch it, subscribe to his show and watch it.
And
Yeah,
love.
but he's like this is pretty apparent sexism and racism that's happening at times, like in certain elements of it. Like he doesn't deny it whatsoever. So in a weird way, I don't have very much pity for conservatives at all, but I do feel bad for those who do not subscribe to this kind of stupid bullshit, and then who get lumped in with the idiots. It would be, it's sort of like when you watch like those scammer bait videos, as going all Indian people are scammers from that. No, it's like this really small percentage of fucking horrible people, and you just don't want to judge a whole party or a whole people based off of the vocal minority of idiots. And so I'm not gonna jump on a limb too far for him.
Not
No.
for nothing, but Santa wanted to call it Wayward Sons. SUNS.
Oh, uh-oh.
Yes.
They were gonna call it. They were gonna call it twin sons, but they said no. What about daughters? Just kidding. Carla says 16 days to go. I'm so excited. We're not far. We're not far off. It's going to be a good time. I think we're going to have fun.
Tell him it was his sister from another kidster.
Luke says
see.
all dude, those young Anakin and Obi-Wan flashbacks plus the Qui-Gon scenes, all I need. You are not going to be disappointed. And that's kind of like the thing about it was, which was funny to me, was those were like the biggest stories, and they were the most obvious. Didn't matter who made this. Doesn't matter if it was Deborah Chow. Doesn't matter if it was fucking Steven Spielberg, your mama, your daddy, your bald-headed granny. At the end of the day, we were going to have a flashback to young Anakin and Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon was going to be in it, almost no matter what. No matter who wrote it, you know what I mean? It was like the most obvious of it. But
that would break canon because Obi-Wan was clearly cut off from the Force and he was never talking to anybody, or he would have been instantly detected from across the galaxy by the Emperor in a second, in a nanosecond, and the Emperor would have gone there. Like, it's just ridiculous what's in their head, you know?
It is. Hey, Sheev, looking good, dude. Like that. Is that Disneyland? I'll do you one better. Where do words come from, and how the heck did someone teach them to another person? You just kill a bunch of cuss words, and then the kids start saying it too.
They drew them. That's why being an artist is important.
Yeah, today's Penny's birthday. She's a big old 7-year-old today.
Has she seen the Penny cartoons?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Right?
I actually came up with that name watching Pee-wee's Playhouse when it was on Netflix with Luke when he was a baby. And I was like, Penny. I like that name. And that's kind of where I got it from.
Look at that.
Yeah. So, oh yeah. And everyone say hi to Star Wars Meg. Tell her she's cool. DeSala says, why is Sketch Guy a Force ghost? He's a villain. Ooh.
At the very end, I did a good deed, and everyone was forgiven. Now I get to save the universe. All the shows are mine.
Yep. Danny had hope.
We're changing the name of this show to Making Force Ghost Rob.
So. Jimmy says, I'm surprised more people don't compare the leak to Jedi Fallen Order. I think people are assuming it's the last frame they'll see, which is ridiculous. Yeah, well, it's because I went and I put what the whole ending is, and they just decided to stop right there in their rage. They have made what the real estate of these characters are. There's even a guy, I don't know if he's being friendly or if he's being an asshole. It's kind of hard to tell on Twitter sometimes, and I don't give too much attention to it.
I get that
but
a
it's
lot.
But it's like it's a picture of Revo yesterday, and they're all like side character, and I'm like, yeah, she's the main villain, one of the main villains, her and Darth Vader, and but she's ultimately in an
Yoda's
ensemble of villains
too. And
yeah, it's really I don't
when we're any of the movies about Yoda, like I'm trying to figure that one out.
Like Young Boomer says, to reword my removed point, did somebody remove it? I dislike the sequels, so would probably be umbrellaed into Phantom Menace. However, liking the Disney Plus stuff, plus me now in the Shield territory, I prefer to be in the middle. Yeah, you know what? Like at the end of the day, like just like what you like, you know? I like 7 and 8. I don't really like 9 that much. I like 9 intermittently. I don't like it in totality. It's really strange. That's just me like liking Star Wars enough that I'm like I still like the visuals and the John Williams playing and stuff. But yeah, like I don't know. It's weird. It's weird that with me, I'm a guy who literally, like Prometheus, steals the fire from the gods and brings it to the people, and they call me a shill for the gods. It's like I'm the furthest thing from a shill in that point, but it's
a bait
like
and switch because I went in for the fire and it was all about Prometheus. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I think I need to start watching wrestling to understand the logic. I think
You
I
have
think
to watch
these
90s wrestling. Modern
90s
wrestling will not
wrestling.
explain it to you, but they get
Okay.
all their cues from 1992 to
Ni-
1998. Just like
Yeah.
91 to 98. 100%. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. But it's like, all of these things come out, different directors and different writers. And so when you go to Umbrella, it all as being the same thing. I'm sorry, but to me, Mando season 1 and 2 is night and day to Book of Boba. Same writer on that one, but some different movie makers involved. And you just never know what you're gonna get. I think I was going to
Yeah, you ever
little.
listen to an album and like 3 songs are great and 2 of them are like, what were they thinking? You know?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you're they're
Or
having fun, but then you're like legitimately like, what was that?
I love Queen, but what the fuck was the miracle? What the fuck was that? Um, Bestman Bulletin says
It's true.
episode 9 was horrid. We were just the messengers by leaking it, but the fandom was awful, blaming us, sending us death threats, etc. Yeah, yeah, I
You
know
guys
that
made the
was
movie.
when you had a bunch of Raylos that were getting moist over fucking Kylo Ren getting mad that their boyfriend died. It's like you just can't fucking fight with that. You just can't contend with it. That's the only thing that's been nicer about this one is there's not someone going, my boyfriend's not dead, my boyfriend's alive. That's not happening this time.
So
But
weird.
but maybe I mean, McGregor's a pretty good looking man though, so give it some time. Maybe that'll be next time. But it was it
Hey,
was
look,
weird.
Lucasfilm wanted that Twilight crowd. They got him.
Yeah.
You got to deal
Yeah.
with it.
Good luck. And yeah, and the death threats. It's like bring it. I want to die. Jamie Hopkins says, "Yeah, the leak is more Fallen Order vibe." Yeah, I know. I almost like the big question I've had over this last year is like, the Fallen Order world, that element, is that going to be big going forward, or is this the culmination of it? This might just be the culmination of Fallen Order's contributions to the Star Wars lore coming into live action and being like, this is what it is. But I keep wondering if Roken might be like our into like a whole new thing, which would be fun. The young boomer says, liking what I like and disliking what I dislike, but this hatred for Kenobi has effectively opened my eyes to how deluded some fans can be. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's opened my eyes to the fact that these people weren't pleased with 7, 8, 9, Rogue One. So they'll go like, "Oh, I liked Rogue One. I like Ahsoka." It's like, they will find something to be like, this is my shield that I like Star Wars. But it's like at this point, if you haven't really liked anything, if you've been on that train this whole time, why the fuck are you even here? You know what I mean? Just leave the nerds alone. Let the nerds like what they like. Leave them alone. Like it would be like me talking about the Matrix 4 still. Fucking moved on. Robert St. Clair says, still never made sense to me why people thought Force Ghost would appear on Exegol. That place was basically hell. It never made sense to me that Jedi Force Ghost would be able to appear there. Yeah, but I think once you have the disembodied voice appear, you kind of like are in that territory anyway.
Because you want to feel like it's the end of 9 films and not just a side film before something else happens. That's why, Robert. There's just
Yeah,
not. It's not a culmination of 8 other films. That film, like
yeah,
that's why.
yeah. I also think that it went for something epic and it didn't land. It didn't, you know what I mean? It didn't stick the landing, so to speak. And so it's always going to be like a what the fuck. I'm mostly of the opinion that could have been in a conversation and that we didn't actually need it. Do I like it? I guess I do. And then do I like where it was going? Like where it was going, but I also think if you were going to go there, you should have kept going. You should have kept on going there. I think that in my opinion, they should have probably have done the young Palpatine reborn thing and had Rey fight that guy and had a spiritual thing going on at the same time And but at the same time, I think when you get too epic, you can just lose it all, and it starts to feel like you're watching a Final Fantasy cutscene, and you're either
I
really
thought the way
into
to
it
do
or
that
you're
fight,
divorced, yeah, from it.
I thought the way to do that fight was to integrate those force backs during the fight. You know,
Yeah,
where her and Palpatine could have been fighting against the backdrop of the entire saga in a way. You know,
that's what I
it
thought was
was
happening when I first started reporting on it,
right. So it's
because
it's a
I
way to at least
yeah
visually give you a way to tie things in that the narrative's not doing. You know,
yeah.
at least you can sort of,
But
you know,
I
it's a
had
little bit
two
of a cheat,
things.
but it would work.
Well, what was funny was like when JJ was doing the force back in episode 7, he started cutting it down and removing it because he didn't want there to be like a YouTube greatest hits video of Star Wars in the middle of this movie. And then it was sort of weird. It was like he was trying to embrace that in a way in 9, but just didn't make it happen, right? I don't know. Um, but once again, it doesn't really matter. What I what I thought of it, but I got a lot of shit for what I did think. I thought like it sounds fine. That was my take at the time, and I was like, like let's see it and see how it all plays out because it might be a footnote. It might be the most important part of the ending. I really can't tell what the emphasis is. I just know what they're doing, and but yeah, but they were man. Me and Bestman should have walked away then. They're crazy. Hey, it's Ben. How's it going, dude? Hey man, been a min since I caught up the live. I don't mind the ending. I keep it real. My issue is a lot of people are framing it. If you don't like the leaks, you're a certain type of fan. Um, our opinions not allowed. That's the only issue. Yeah, and that's exactly like my take is like the controversy here should be Luke saw that, should he be able to, and how you feel about it. Like that should be like the discussion, not a bait and switch, a rev as this or that. I mean, that's about dog whistling. Um, People who may be overtly racist, or maybe who may not even realize that they harbor certain biases. That's my take. But Meg says I was only asked if I work for Disney when I was positive about the Kenobi show. Yeah, do you work for Disney? That's a fun one because if I did, boy, I wouldn't have this beard. What? Uh-oh. I'm outed.
All I'm saying
Bunk.
is, ever since they lost their special privileges in Florida, Jason didn't have a beard.
Mhm.
You know,
I think in 10 to 15 years, sequels will be appreciated more, just like the prequels. Ewan has talked about this in the last interview. I am curious about that. Like usually I would agree, and usually that's what I think would happen. As fans tend to like take in what they like, and that becomes the emphasis on it. But the one difference I think is that there's an onslaught of new Star Wars material coming all the time. And it means if something doesn't, like, let's just pretend Attack of the Clones didn't connect with you, right? Well, when you only have 6 Star Wars movies, that's 1/6 of the Star Wars movies, and it's still going to get some attention, even if you try to ignore it. And you do just kind of cycle through them at times. You are still going to get that exposure repeatedly. It becomes sort of memeified and enjoyed through the process as you refine it and accept things about it. For instance, with the current way that it goes, just constantly new shit, and you just don't really need to revisit things that you don't like too much. And that's what I'm curious about. But that's also why I think that they need to get on doing more Ray, Finn, maybe even Ben Solo content, so that way it will kind of alleviate some of the stuff that didn't work as well as it should have, and get people back in. I think if they announced a Ray show today, or a Ray miniseries, or a Ray movie, or something about Finn or whatever, I would immediately feel better about 7 and 8. I still like 7 and 8, but I also, like, as I watch them, I'm like, and I go like, where are we going with this? Which is just where my brain goes all the time. I'm a little bit like, oh, it goes to 9, and it kind of just like it's like a
for
big fart at the end for me.
I think the difference, though, Carlo, right? Look, everything's gonna have its fans. All right, everything's gonna have its fans. There's fans of Superman Returns. You know, has its fans.
Yeah,
What we're talking about is, will this moment be forgotten about and replaced by a better understanding of what they experienced, right? Or what you experienced over time. And with the prequels, even though it ain't my jam, a lot of people felt Lucas stuck the landing with episode 3. Okay, that overall at the end they got there and they're really happy with how that ending worked out. A lot of people felt Revenge of the Sith was the best of the 3, and for some it's in their top 3, if not top 1 or 2.
Right.
Nobody overwhelmingly feels episode 9 stuck the landing for anybody. The people who really were into that relationship between Reylo, they were in it for 7 and 9 between the Reylos. They didn't like that ending, at all. They didn't like how that went out. They didn't like the kiss. And the people who weren't into it were waiting for something other than Rey calling herself a Skywalker.
Right.
So
Right.
Finn really didn't get like his day in the sun as a Jedi, and it's an odd film to end on, which is why I said the only way to get there is to have some sort of Disney Plus series or a series of series or something, or even a prequel with the Jakku that then continues after. You need to continue those storylines beyond the films in a meaningful way for that to all have context that you feel is worth investing in. I'm going to sit there and watch all 3 of these again and have a plus experience. It goes nowhere. It goes nowhere. Like at the end of the day, it just doesn't go anywhere for now. So they can fix that. The Clone Wars proves, that they can fix it over time.
Right.
As it stands now, it will just have its fans, and there'll be a YouTube that tells you missed out on secretly the greatest film of all time. But the reality is it's probably more often a non-plus. I mean, as great as the prequels have turned out, for a lot of people, the 3D film didn't move the needle, monetarily speaking,
Right.
So,
Which is, I don't know if it's that one just had a lot going against it too. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it was too early. I don't think the audience had grown up. I also don't think that 3D was in a very good place either. Yeah, so I'm not sure.
we thought
I
for
guess
certain
okay.
Darth Maul
So
merch would sell, but it didn't.
Daniel RPK is saying that Matthew Law, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., has been cast in a big role in Ahsoka series. So Daniel RPK sometimes will have correct spoiler stuff. I don't mean to cast any shade or doubt, but it kind of goes both. I think it's been a bit iffy. I remember he used to DM me a lot. Yeah, this fucking pioneer guy. Whoa, Josh at Den of Nerds. Jason Ward is calling you out on the stream right now, making Star Wars, and you are feeding into the fandom menace. Yeah, this guy is just a shit stir. But I mean, it's true though. It is true. But oh well, fuck him. I'll just block the Pioneer of Eros guy. Sounds like an asshole. But yeah. So I don't really know anything about Matthew Law. Do you guys know Matthew Law? Do you guys know who he is? Is he Ezra? But you there? You there, Rob? I still got you, Rob.
I'm here, man. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm working while we're doing the show, my friend.
Yeah. No. I'm making sure I didn't lose you. Matthew Law in an important role. So that's cool. Always good to see more casting breaking, and stuff like that. But
was that the Illuminati?
No, it was Daniel RPK. I believe is the source.
I like that dude. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he used to be a friend of mine until it didn't become cool to be my friend. So
whatever. I don't like that dude.
No, I don't. I'm not casting. But he.
I don't know him. When I say I just mean he's posted rumors that came out to be true, right? That's why.
Yeah, when it came to casting stuff, he used to I remember he used to DM me, and most of the time it was just shit that was never going to pan out and didn't pan out. But when it was, I felt like it was also casting grid stuff that was garnered from grids and production sites. So it's probably legit. So I was thinking maybe a grown-up version of Ezra's friend from Rebels. Yeah. Probably going to be a new character though, I would just think. Just most likely. Eric Denton says, have a friend getting sucked into the Star Wars and Star Trek are too multicultural and political. I was like, did you watch the prequels from 20 years ago and the OTS with Shatner? This isn't new. No, it's always given us a very open um, multicultural society and science fiction. These people just don't know what's going on. They just don't pay attention, or they are so blinded by their worldview that they only see what they want to see as they're watching it. I
Just
don't know.
type in William Shatner SNL Comic Con, and we can see how old this goes.
Yeah,
Get a life.
yeah. I'm Brill Ben Mander says, I'm at a point canon is very loose. On a recent comic, Vader finds out and visits Exegol before episode 6. So Vader forgets to tell Luke, laugh out loud, canon.
Let's just
Yeah.
not. This is not even getting to the comics, you know.
Yeah.
Like, this is
I know.
we're way past that, you know.
Star Wars Santa, would they have him as Zeb, like using Kelsey Grammer for Beast and X-Men? Oh, that's I mean,
Santa
anything's
never
possible.
forgets. I love X-Men 3.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this actor. Sorry about my desk. I don't know anything about this actor, so I don't really know what to like expect from him. But I don't know if he's from what I saw in the picture, he didn't look like he was like a huge guy. I just kind of expect whoever would be in the Zeb costume would be big, and but you know, we'll have to see. Hayden is cosplaying as Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash means Darth Vader. That's a style I could get. The Man in Black. Star Wars Meg says, I was just pondering over that, Star Wars Santa. Just pondering over it. Yeah. So, okay. Baymax, thank you for being a channel member, Baymax. I appreciate it. Theory Photoshop Moses Ingram out of the thumbnail at the same time. He's been slightly critical of Disney photoshopping John Boyega out of Chinese posters. Is that hypocrisy or a grift? I don't know. We'd have to ask him. That's an interesting point, though. Yeah. Bestman says the casting report is from Daniel RPK, so I wouldn't hold much stock. So
he's gotten some stuff right before, though.
Like, well, he gets general Hollywood stuff right. I don't remember there being any real true Star Wars home runs, and like I said, I'm not I don't have a dog in the fight on this one. I don't care. You know, I'm like, what? Just we'll see what happens if that's true. Yeah.
I don't
no. I'm trying to make it clear that I'm not trying to fucking throw shade on another like you know reporter or whatever. And but yeah, the Star Wars stuff I used to hear from him was usually pretty like not in the ballpark of correct, but I don't know what he reports because I think his whole thing is Patreon, and I was never a Patreon supporter of his, so I don't know how that goes. And you know, somebody was suggesting to me, they're like, why don't you just start just putting your stuff on Patreon? That way you can tell these people to fuck off, and at least you'll get something for it. But I think this right here kind of shows why I won't do that, and it's that people then now I don't really know what Daniel RPK is saying because it's behind a paywall. Oh yeah, people hated Grogu IG-11 report too. Yeah, Meg, that's the one I still can't believe because it's so fucking adorable, you know. She says, I laughed at it. I thought it was incredible. Give me Mecha Grogu with the Darksaber level. Yeah, right. I mean, there's more there's more opportunities here. But and for the record, if anybody thinks I'm calling Josh out, I'm not calling him out. I'm just calling it as it is. And Josh can always come on the show and talk if he wants to. You know, if he thinks he's been treated unfairly or if he has anything to say. But I just don't see the idea came from him. And when we jokingly, not to say jokingly, when we were just nice about it on Twitter, he turned it into a joke and dismissed it and minimized the point that we were making. And then now here we are. So yeah, he did write their script this round, didn't he? Mecha Grogu is going to be great. I'm with you, babe. I'm with you, babe, Mr. Max. Can I call you Bay? Bay? Arya says, how come Disney hide the fact that Luke was in Boba, but can't hide the ending about their most important show ever? Arya, I keep having to tell you because I didn't fucking work that one. I didn't work it. If I had worked that one, I would have known. That's that. I mean, that's just the truth. You know, everybody was too busy believing a girl with 11 personalities about what kind of man I am. And when I say that, that's literally she has 11 split personalities. And then I had to go. I was glad I was able to prove and said it straight. People can go read that if they don't remember. But But the difference was when that was being filmed, I wanted nothing to do with the people I called my friends or I thought were my friends who weren't, who just wanted me for to latch onto because they want to be stars, sell T-shirts, make money, and that's what they cared about. So it was like, well, okay, fuck all of this is all dog shit. This is all crap. So I didn't really work it. You know what I mean? I wasn't into it. There was a pandemic going on. I was more afraid of dying and my kids dying. We didn't know what any of this. We didn't know what was going to happen, and so I had more on my mind than fucking Boba Fett. And yeah. So, anyways, but I like Obi-Wan Kenobi rose like a phoenix from the ashes and brought you what you need, the truth. And but it was a fun experiment, wasn't it? Wasn't it fun leaving the fandom to its own devices and looking at all of the spoilers that they got without me? Oh, I could tell you that tonight Grogu's gonna be in it. Oh, good work, deep diver. Takes your first name and your last name to make my first name, Jordan Mason, you bitch.
Crimson Dawn. Sorry, I had something in my throat.
There's gonna be a. I promise you guys, there's gonna be a Dark Maul show. There's gonna be an Inquisitor show. There's gonna be a High Republic show, Old Republic show, and they're gonna. It's just like that's what happens. So
yeah, I did hear about how they wanted cameos in every other show, and then when they only get the Boba Fett, they're unhappy.
Oh, yeah.
But now when they get other characters in the show, I don't like it. I only want the character in the show. Like, it's so fucking dumb, dude.
Carlos says that people are hating on the Praetorian Guard stuff. I haven't really encountered that. But I will say, I love The Last Jedi. As a woke man, I love Ryan Johnson. I want to just give him a little hug. So I want to hold him and say, I love what you did with Star Wars, little buddy. But that said, you can literally hate that movie and dislike it. The fucking designs are stellar, I think. I mean, you could say that they don't go together. Whatever. The point is, I don't think the designers failed. And so at the end of the day, what you do with those characters and how they look is cool. And how cool that is used on screen is what matters. So if anything, it could be a redemption arc for those designs for those people who didn't like the movie. That's my take anyway. But Zooey says, why are they hitting on Praetorian Guards? I want to explore more of the sequel stuff. Open up new cool stuff. Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like it's always an opportunity to explore this stuff and to make things better, to improve things. Of course, they could always make things worse. That goes without saying.
The hope is over time, it's all getting better. You know, I mean, like there was a time when Iron Man 2 came out. Everyone was like, oh, son, MCU's fucked up. You know, it's never going to get good. This is all stupid. This isn't even an Iron Man movie. It's a fucking Avengers film. It's all fucking downhill, comic book fatigue. Like, I mean, just, you know, then Age of Ultron comes out. Oh, comic book fatigue. Not really a good movie. I don't even care about this Vision shit. You know, this Wanda thing's stupid. It's all over. It's over. No one gives a shit. Wait till Justice League comes out, makes $1 billion fucking dollars. Fucking blah, blah, blah. I mean, just this never ends, bro. You know, like the predictions are hilarious, you know.
Star Wars Santa says, not only is Josh trying to sell.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I gotta show you this one.
Wow, this cocksucker is a Disney shill. Michael, you didn't call me a cocksucker to my face when you and I were alone that one night, and we had our tryst.
All right, now go ahead. Sorry.
All right. Well, yeah. See, here's the problem: is I have to find where I was now. Oh God, you son of a bitch!
Showing them all our Twix. Stop mentioning war games, Rob. You're showing them all our Twix.
Yeah.
Star Wars fan is really a conservative. Stop showing them all our Twix.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why being called a cocksucker is such a bad thing. It's pretty much the best thing that could happen to me.
I'll be honest, I do prefer Dick vein on my Snickers. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, yeah, yeah, me too.
I lick it off first. Since day one, man. I just lick that little Dick vein off that thing. Then it's time to eat.
Dude, I can't find it now. I can't find what Santa was saying to me.
I'll dig it up. Let's see if I can
does it get deleted? Myself. Does it get deleted? I mean, you just wanted to call me a cocksucker, and somebody did it for you finally. But yeah, it's like it's gone now.
That is weird. It doesn't go when you unshow it. Like it doesn't delete the chat. That is odd. I don't know.
Yeah.
I blame myself. You know what I can do? Hold on. Hold on. Let me go to the stream, and like Spaceballs, I'm gonna rewind it to now. Right?
They
I'm gonna
okay,
rewind because I'll see it.
okay,
And I'll be
go
able to
ahead.
read it to you. Right?
Baymax says they photoshopped Moses Ingram out of his throne now at the same time. Oh, we already talked about that. So see this thing is all fucking out of order now for me. All right, so what did Santa say?
Not only is Josh trying to sell that grift, but he's throwing Meg under the bus, saying that she told him Kenobi was a bait and switch. Is that a bait and Nintendo Switch, Santa?
Wait, not only is Josh trying to sell that grift, but he's throwing Meg under the bus by saying she told him Kenobi was a bait and switch? Wow. Is that really true? Or is that a joke? Because Meg wouldn't say that. That's really crazy. If anybody's trying to say that makes it, that's fucking wild.
Meg's just trying to work the Bad Batch into every show. Like anytime there's a rumor, she's always trying to tie it back. She loves the Bad Batch.
She's a
like, 3, 2, 1, Bad Batch, go.
She's a Bad Batcher.
Yeah. I love her, man. She's great. It's funny because she had the Andor bit that Bespin had about the Mud Troopers and stuff, right? And she goes,
yeah.
With
we need to talk about
like,
that.
What?
Yeah.
I felt like that was that scene in Roger Rabbit where Eddie picks up the strip on the floor on the road and then rips it in half and just throws it into the wall. And they just, I was like,
yeah,
got me on that one.
Did you ever notice that the gateway to Toontown is the same tunnel that Marty and Biff fight on the hoverboard? I love that.
Yes, and when I drove through it, I was really disappointed we didn't end up in Toontown. Like,
it's really small.
It's
really small, which is what that cocksucker said to me. Sheev the Wise says, laugh out loud. I would never. I would cover Reva Force Ghost and have a blast with it. Mace Windu, that's incredible. If Jason ever wanted to go rogue, he'd give Zero a run for his money. Oh my god, if I fucking just I wish I could do it. The only reason it would be fun to do it as like as a lark. But then it would be used against me for the rest of my life. You know what I mean?
Well, they're re-releasing 2016's Rogue One, and it's going to be called Rev 1 now.
Rev 1.
Because she also won. Like it's a twofer.
Reva Awakens, The Last Reva, The Rise of Reva. Reva Strikes Back.
Reva Solo.
A new Reva. Anyways, Arya says, why is Padme in the thumbnail? Is she in Kenobi? I told you she's my girlfriend. That's why. Ponce, literally same.
He digs up her grave, right? Like he grabs her by the skull. Why did you tell me to kill the kids? We could have stopped them.
You want to know what I would do if I was Anakin? I go dig up that grave and take some of that DNA over to the cloners. I make an army of Padmes, and you never fucking see me again. There would be no evil in the galaxy because everything that I would need would be right in that room. Burko, the Canadian, people are overreacting to the leak. Laugh out loud. Yeah, they are. Burko, gotta say, you're coming at this with a certain maturity and intelligence that we don't see on the internet too much. So
Canadians. There's level-headed.
He's all sorry as he walks away. Zuri says, Star Wars Mig, I'm really excited to see the Mud Troopers in Andor. And that's a bestmanbulletin.com script. Sorry, I totally forgot about that. I was working on the other project and ran to the show. I'm really excited to see the Mud Troopers in Andor since seeing her video. I think that kind of warfare we saw in Solo was really cool. Of course, the Death Troopers too. Yeah. And I want to tie that into my point about the Praetorian stuff. Is like, look up Death Troopers, how they were used in Mandalorian season 1's finale, and look at them how they're used in Rogue One. I don't care which is better, but it's like, or worse, but it's different, and that's kind of the important thing here is that but the designs are good and they're, I don't know, maybe. I think they're useful enough that they can be reused in different contexts and expanded upon. And that's what's cool about Star Wars is if a design is rad and you don't like the story, they might pop up in a film or a story that you do, and then it's going to be neat. But
And if you think a
Derpy.
design is rad, they might completely ignore it and give you a really big head the next time they use that character.
See, this is the kind of
What?
outrage that I like. This is the right. Derpy Gaming says Disney, give us the Kenobi theme already, you cowards. Right? Wouldn't it be nice if today
the score by now? The theme,
I was driving around? Just give me the theme. You don't have to give me the score. Just give me the theme.
Win Celebration?
End of the month when Kenobi comes out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shit. Never mind.
Yeah. We got Book of Boba like the day before the series, but there's always a chance it's still being, I don't know. It's probably mixed and mastered by now since they're finishing up right now. But I knew it. Grogu isn't Jabim fighting Vader, right? Arya, at first I was having to really dig into that opening with the Order 66 stuff because there was something I had heard about, like a package. Not making a joke here, but about a package, and at the time, and I was like, "Do the two Jedi escape with a package? Is the package a little baby Grogu? Maybe a little baby Grogu?" And but I was told no.
They wrapped it like around the shape of his body. Like, I wonder what it could be. It's like,
yeah,
it's got the ears, the whole fucking thing, you know.
He has like a clone trooper helmet on, and they has it on. And they're like, "Oh, that's so adorable! Don't shoot it."
Yeah.
Darth Dennis, first time in the chat, but this is a Force ghost. This guy over here, yeah, this guy's a Force ghost. Couldn't handle his.
Me and
beard.
Toys R Us, you know, we're just Force ghosting it.
He when Toys R Us went out of business, he died of a broken heart. Darth Maximus says, "I love Meg's voice. Makes my morning." Yeah, Meg easily has the best voice, and I don't know what you call it. Star Wars commentating. Baymax says, Bay, as I call him around here. If Reva, did you hear that? But if Reva only ever had her mask on and people couldn't see her skin color, this wouldn't be a thing. The bait and switch is classic rage baiting dog whistling Q promo from the MSW t-shirt, available now.
I said that. Mm-hmm. I also said that well, I didn't say it here, but I was saying it off air, was that had this been Boba Fett,
yeah,
you know, had Boba Fett shown up to kill Luke, you know, and then he didn't or whatever, you know, and
or
like
what if
you know,
what if O'Shea Jackson Jr. had been Reva too?
Right.
Revan, he was Revan. Would that have changed things? In dark skin, you know, but would that have changed things too? Because that's one of the, you know, you have this Venn diagram of like things that appear slightly racist and sexist that are said with the stuff. And once again, it doesn't make you a racist or a sexist if you're like, I don't like Luke seeing a lightsaber. That doesn't make you racist or sexist. But it's a lot of what goes around it that's definitely questionable, and what you may be passing on to your peoples. Star Wars
also,
Anna.
monetizing people's racism for your benefit makes you a racist.
Yeah.
Just letting you know. Like, willfully monetizing their fucking anger for your benefit makes you equally fucking racist. Just so you know. Just putting it out there.
It makes you a Star Wars profiteer.
Chapek's like, hey now. He's got to pay some bills. You know?
Star Wars said it, but didn't Liam say that he's a movie snob? Laugh out loud. Yeah, I bet you afterwards he's going to go like, well, it was so cinematic. I had to film my parts for it. Probably got so drunk he didn't remember. I'm kidding. But he does pee his pants when he drinks. So Real Ben Mader says, I think people are overreacting to the leaks, and people are overreacting to the overreacting people or leaks. So you see it as it feeding into itself. You're probably right. We probably won't talk about this anymore after today. Hopefully. Star Wars China says, you'll be excited to know that Kitster's name shows up in the new Brotherhood novel. Oh yeah? Is he like, Obi-Wan, you're like a brother to me, except you are no Kitster, my true brother, my brother in arms. We traverse the sands of Tatooine together. Me, Wald, Kitster, brothers. You're like a
on
crazy
this
uncle.
Day, Saint Kitster's Day. What?
Saint Kitster's Day.
Yeah.
My first act as co-leader of the Empire is to enact Saint Kitster's Day, for he was a good friend. Baymax says that Waldron quote rules out being the climactic ending to the Mandoverse. Oh, I definitely think it. I think it rules it out of most everything. If he's
Also
if
think
he's
Mando season 3 does that too.
true,
Yeah.
yeah, like we always say, Grogu and Mando getting back together should have been the movie.
Yep.
It should have been the
100%.
culmination of the movie.
Ready to come out next year. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they could be showing off the whole filming of it. Everyone there is like, will they get? We don't know. We'll have to find out. The big cinematic. They got deepfake guys working on cinematic Luke Skywalker. I mean,
Mhm.
just man, they just missed out on $2 billion fucking dollars, dude. Like I just don't understand.
Imagine the poster. It's like it's like a split down the middle with Grogu like this, and there's Luke, and then there's Mando, and it says just 6 months ago he didn't even have a family. Now he has two dads. What's he gonna do? I would have
Oh
watched that
man.
movie.
The Republican talking points about that show. I had to my uncles, I had to hear it, you know.
My
I had to
my
hear
two
it.
Star Wars dads. Real Ben Mater says, my question is, with Waldron talking, will we get news at Celebration? Oh, you know, I kind of wouldn't be surprised if they did give us fluff news about that, just because, like, I mean, it's going to be, I think it's going to be telling if we don't hear a fucking word about Rogue Squadron at Celebration. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
and
Waldron could have just opened his fucking mouth, but I'm hoping it means that they're going to say something, you know.
And then I think what they'll do if Rogue Squadron is still happening, and they'll be like, "Oh, exciting news, everybody! Not Rogue Squadron is delayed. Not Patty
Hold on.
Jenkins.
Exciting news. Hold on. Exciting news, everybody. But then the stream cuts out and it's only for Celebration people, and then they tell them some nonsense that doesn't even
No, what
matter.
it'll be is we're here to announce the new release date of Rogue Squadron, and then they're like, 2042. But it'll be like they're gonna announce the new release date. That's what they'll do. Then they'll just change that again by days or months or weeks. Anyways, probably. But does Reva not have a helmet at all? What's interesting about that is early on I was told that they designed helmets for the Inquisitors. I was like, they made helmets, like, yeah. And then, like, I saw something, I thought words that were helmets, and
Yeah, because you came on
I
air
saw
with the helmet.
lightsabers.
Remember?
Yeah,
You wore
yeah,
it to the drive-through.
yeah. Yeah. And the thing is that, like, I have not seen any indications that they used any of that stuff, that they went with
No, they're
helmets
anti-helmet.
whatsoever. Well, no, but here's the thing: is like the Grand Inquisitor, right? When you watch old Rebel stuff, I believe he only wears it in Rebels when he's flying his ship, and he doesn't actually wear it when he takes it off when he's not flying his ship. So I
Does
think
he look
that
like a pistachio? Because it's like a really long, tall helmet. Does he look like, Mechanical Pope?
I think he was loosely Kylo Ren concept art that they didn't use for the helmet.
Okay.
More medieval a little bit. A movie done with Feige and Waldron. So excited. Me too, Carlo. I think it's likely. For the Feige part, I could, like, give or take. I'm glad. I think it's a vote of confidence for it. But Waldron's the person who I'm the most excited for. I think that he's a very inspired writer, and I hope he's not by some way sleepy now after all the shit he's done. And so I expect it to be great from him. I think he's the most exciting writer we've had in a long time. Gabriel, how's it going? Hugs for Star Wars fans from Brazil. Whoa, that's cool. All right, here.
Oh, nice.
Come here, Estevez. You know Emilio Estevez at all? Give me a little hug right here. You know Emilio? Tell him make Young Guns Part 3 and to get vaccinated. Cool.
I dated this Brazilian girl in college,
Mm-hmm.
and her father didn't have a what do you call that? I don't know, whatever fucking ID to come in this country. So he'd fly into Tijuana, then we'd go into
Mm-hmm.
Mexico, pick him up, bring him
Pick him
back.
up. Yeah.
And as soon as he got over the soil, he had to get a sack of sugar. Like
Really?
sugar was like the most. I was like, what? He's like, we eat sugar. They put and everything. I was like, are you really? He's like, yeah, we had to. I mean, it was like I had a sack of sugar on, and I'd
Yeah.
watch that man just eat so much. I mean, didn't have fucked up teeth either. I'm like, is it? He says it's because they're used to it. Like, I'm like, I don't know how that works. How does that work? Like, whatever. But yeah, I get him a sack of sugar.
How said, I heard that Waldron is writing an X-Men movie also.
Nope. No,
Is-
I'll tell you why. Because at Marvel, they only put people on one project at all the way through at a time. They don't handle multiple things. The only thing that might happen is if they have something going on in the story room, and then other writers within their story department are chipping
Okay.
in on that. But in terms of one guy handling two things, it's not happening. Like they don't put
Yeah.
producers on separate things. They don't. They that studio is set up that way for a reason,
Yeah.
and that's why each movie has its own feel too. You know, you don't have they don't put the Avengers guys also jumping in on, and then they're also jumping in on. Like that doesn't happen. So,
Dan the man says, "Great work, thanks, Dan, and welcome, Dan. Nice to hang out with you. Hey, Polyhedral Paradise, how's it going? Good afternoon. Did a stream for mental health awareness with Polyhedral Paradise a few weeks ago. It was a good time. I had fun. Me and Santa. Baymax says, wait till season 2 and Luke sees Assad Het, the lightsaber, and Kenobi chasing him off. Oh no. Don't do
Assad
that
Het?
to us. Oh, he's like a Tusken Raider Jedi and hiding thing. I
A
don't remember.
Tuscan that likes
Tu-
Boba Fett would be Het and Fett. Where you get Het and Fett like Simon and Simon, right?
I'm Het and he's Fett. We're here to rule with respect.
Yeah, yeah.
Owen faked his death and turned out to be a gray Jedi the whole time. That explains
know-
the clothes.
We never saw them really die. They could have burnt their own body. They could have had doubles. Like they've kept two other idiots down there, you know, the whole time. Like similar to something you'd see on Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad. Like and they
He's
burnt
like-
those other corpses.
Okay, so here's how it happened. Brew and Owen are in that kitchen with the blue milk and all that stuff, right? And he's like, Brew, he's not home. He's like, I want to kick him out because it's our time. It's our time. Let's get rid of this guy. He's not a real son, and she can't do it. She's like, how about we just burn some shit right here on the front yard and we just fucking take off. And he's like,
They
all
dug
right.
up Shmi and Klieg's skeletons and set those on fire because they're literally right around the bed. They could just dig them right up, you know.
And then later on, they're going to do a story where Ray's parents go to a swingers convention on a swinger planet, and they run into Brew and Owen, and they're alive. It's gross.
Club 66. You know?
Oh, Club 69. Spencer Cam says the show needs to be focused on Obi-Wan and Vader. It's the Kenobi show. All I care about. So Spencer, that's what it is, but it's also not all that it has to be. I mean, there are other characters. It's not just two guys fighting for 6 episodes. That would not work. That just doesn't work. It's like you can't A New Hope. You have to have a Grand Moff Tarkin. You have to have Boba Fett and Empire Strikes Back. You have to have Jabba the Hutt. You can't just have those two guys and that's it. At the end of the day, when all is said and done, you could just watch those parts of it and pretend make your super cut if you want. But I mean,
why did they create Krennic? It should only be Tarkin and Vader in Rogue One. This is ridiculous. Like, you see what I mean?
Here's the thing is that if they gave all of Darth Vader's moments if they gave all of Reva's moments to Darth Vader, then we would be complaining that Darth Vader is doing grunt work, that Darth Vader is the man on the ground, not the man upstairs that he's supposed to be. And he would be losing constantly. And people who are scorekeep would be complaining that he's weak. Instead, They use Darth Vader correctly. They give him great lines. They give him great moments. And so would you rather have a bunch of quality Vader moments, or would you rather have him looking like, oh, those rascally rebels getting away again, I'm going to catch them? But then he also can't learn about his daughter. He can't learn about his son. He can't learn anything. And it just completely closes doors as opposed to opening them. That's my take. And when it comes out, Spencer, come by and tell us what you thought. Tell us if you think, you know what they did was they went the right way. I'm interested to hear how you feel.
I'm also being serious about the Krennic thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they made a new character. It's that you can't give Tarkin and Vader a failed arc about losing the Death Star plans. You know what I mean? Someone else had to fucking do that because they have Tarkin gets blown up in the next movie. Like it's just they had to create another fucking dude. You know?
Yeah.
Like it's the whole point.
Yeah. Shogun Orta says, ironically, fandom versus fandom menace feels very Jedi versus Sith. Yeah, it should. It's kind of like I always say, or what's that famous saying? I don't want to be a part of any club that would have me. That's how I feel about it. Just be a lone wolf. Follow yourself. Like what you like.
Space Wolf. I
Think
like
for
Space
yourself.
Wolves.
I don't need an angry guy to think for me usually.
Space Foxes.
Yeah, it's a little space fox. Real Ben Minder says, I don't care about
Fat.
sides, laugh out loud. Yeah, that's what I say when I don't do the treadmill sometimes,
I still got those handlebars.
Chief says, so I haven't been paying attention to leaks as much lately. Does Obi-Wan go straight for Nur like Cal does? Who attacks the base of nuts? Oh, or not. So yeah, I'm putting out something in the next couple of days, and I'm going to give you what I know, and then so I said that's a concise, factual. Here's what I believe happens. So you want to check that out. I believe that Roken, his ship, what's that guy's name? I keep wanting to say Baymax, the big droid, and Kenobi are the ones who primarily go to Nur to save Leia. But that's like a bunch of just like running around and shit. So it's kind of a hard one to put into a cohesive narrative. It's very action based, from what I understand. So Dan says the Rebel League is skunk tits. She should go her own way, in my own opinion. We'll see, man. I don't know. I like it though. I like it.
All right. Feels
Rascal.
like it's a rejected He-Man villain. Skunk tits. It's Stinkor's love interest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rassel says the director says that Obi-Wan thinks Anakin is dead. Do you know something about how he finds out that Anakin lives? I don't want to get too intertwined in this because you end up with some Kenobi from a certain point of view kind of stuff, right? But what we have here is when he does see him for the first time, I was told, and it's paraphrased, "Oh my God, what have they done to you? I'm so sorry." That's like the gist of his reaction and his words when he sees him. So I'm not really sure exactly what he thinks is going on, but and in terms of like, does he know that Darth Vader exists? Because I believe he does know. So,
He should
but
have completely killed him and not left him screaming because it just gave him a chance to turn him into RoboCop.
but at the end of the day, if he hadn't, Luke might have fallen to the dark side. He
I'm
served
just
as
saying
both.
his point of view at the time,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
whole,
yeah. No,
not
no,
my
and
idea what they should have done.
yeah, no, and that's like the thing though too, is like you'll even hear Filoni has said things about like Yoda and Obi-Wan's plan that I don't think are current. But when all is said and done, like how much of this was their plan, and how much credence do you put in the way it played out in Return of the Jedi? How much do we think they were architects of that or not? That's something I'm interested in. Filoni has made it sound at times like it was completely their plan, like that's is what they intended. But I think as we see as the show unfolds, maybe it's going to go a slightly different way. But I also don't know, like when Padme is brought up, he gets pissed off, but does he get sad first? Does Darth Vader have any humanity for a few seconds in those moments? That's there's nuances that I can't ascertain that I want to know.
Well, they don't call him Obi-Wan Kenobi for nothing.
Yeah. Looking forward, Baymax says, looking forward to the flood of grifter reactions when Vader kills Reva. Yeah. I mean, but at the same time, like it's kind of weird. It's like, they like lean into that, like, whoa, Mandalorian. And then when it comes out and they then called Gina Carano a fucking Mary Sue. And then once she becomes politically aligned with them overtly, then she was the greatest Star Wars character who ever lived, and they never said the one Mandalorian ever again. So how do you make sense of any of their logic? You just can't, because it's predicated upon a very stupid fan base with either the memory of a snail or or they just all know that nothing matters and it's just all about forcing your perspective onto
It's a caste
spacemen.
system, Jason. They don't believe
Spacemen.
in right or wrong. They believe that they're just better than everyone, and they
Yeah.
don't correct them. You don't have a place to correct them. You just take whatever they say at face value, and if it changes tomorrow, so be it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what we're dealing with here, ultimately.
And if anybody thinks I'm being unfair to conservatives, I hate liberals too. I hate everyone. I'm a Sith inside. No, I mean, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like
I'll be
it.
unfair to conservatives.
I hate everyone. No, no, I'm not trying to play both sides by hating you both, for the record. Sheev the Wise says, I was saying originally, how did someone create words and tech and teach them to someone else? She was like still going on about that. Yeah. Happy birthday, Penny. It's Penny's birthday. Sheep says, probably depends on what you believe. I was just going too deep. Spencer says, Santa's conservative? Hell yeah. Subscribe, laugh out loud. There you go. Yeah. Santa is conservative and I think very rational.
Wear red.
Yeah. I don't agree
wear a
with
red hat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Yeah.
And
I listen to Kansas. Sorry.
This is the Phil Collins. Happy birthday,
well, that
Benny.
doesn't make any sense because my conservative friends fucking hated that band to no end.
Baymax says one of those channels, the Laura Ingram of their space, put out a bait and switch rant video blasting the fact that they're not getting Qui-Gon and Kenobi scenes. Source, another grifter, Circle Durkin 101. Yeah, it's like when I don't know who that is, so I'm not trying to get in a fight with anybody once again. But when I hear about that kind of stuff, I'm like, either you're stupid or you're purposely ignorant, so that way you can spark a fire, But once again, I'm bad at YouTube. I don't know how to make it happen. So, Darth Grogu. Oh no. I love all the fake outrage over the first shots of the Grand Inquisitor not having enough of an egghead, but with the new shots of him from the most recent trailer, I'm not hearing that crying anymore. Well, that's good. Hopefully they cried themselves to sleep or they just moved on to this other thing,
Darth Grogu hasn't watched the new Star Wars Larry trailer.
So yeah, the RL Not Star Wars Larry trailer. Check it out, Darth Grogu, if you haven't. It's so good. James Tyler says, I wish JJ was in charge of the whole sequel trilogy. It probably would have played out better had one person been in charge of the whole thing. I'm with you.
Also, and this look not for nothing, man. You know me, I'm not the biggest fan of that, but the biggest problem with the sequel trilogy from the beginning is they just never got enough time, man. You know, like a lot of my friends were asking me, what do you care about Avatar? I'm like, well, if the fucking new movies are complete dog shit, which is totally possible.
Avatar?
James Cameron, James Cameron can't complain about not having enough time, money, or creative control. J.J. Abrams, since day one with The Force Awakens, was always given we have a deadline. It has to be out by this point, no matter what. And like time is the one thing, man, that you know, people are like, Pixar's great. Well, they give 4 years for every fucking film. Every film. Like, you think about that. Like, yeah, you could really refine a story. And because it's animated, they can keep refining as they go on. They don't go back and do reshoots and shit. So, like, that's where, like, I really think Star Wars should be ran more like animation and less like a live action production. Just give every film a 4-year fucking window to turn around. And if you want more films out, then you need to get more shit into production and really work that shit out the way they would an animated film,
Yeah. The television series have been so near cinematic that it's like I'm more than happy with that level for television. But I would be okay with there being fewer films but better films over time, for sure. Especially if I'm getting like a solid stream of television shows, if I'm getting my fix of Star Wars all the time, it's completely fine. Tyrant says, I turn on the stream to see Jason Ward take off a mask to reveal it's really a Sting mask. Then he takes that off to reveal another Sting mask, and then that to reveal it's really just Jason Ward.
Now, is he talking about WCW Sting, or is he talking about actual Sting, the singer?
Maybe it's WCW, and then it's the singer, and then it's me.
How is that not been done?
Roxanne, you don't have to turn out the Star Wars tonight. Okay.
Reva, you don't have to take over Kenobi. Get your own show.
Yeah, let's do it.
Not
Let's
take
do it.
over the show. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
You haven't seen Only Murders in the Building?
I don't think so.
Oh, my friend.
Yes. Is that a good one? Well, I like it. Okay.
Yes.
Real Ben Maynard says, "I'll be a shill if Disney gives me $1 million a year. Why be a shill? As the Joker says, if you're good at something, never do it for free." Laugh aloud. I'm a good shill. I won't for free. Yeah, I mean that's the whole shill thing is just like really really tired because at the end of the like for me anyways when they throw that at me it's just funny because like I said I literally spoil their films. I'm the opposite of playing into what they want. I don't get anything from them other than what I get from on my own. Baymax says it's like 90s wrestling. They wear masks and use voice changers in their videos. Coked up rants don't come cheap. Quick, send me another super sticker minions or my rage will dwindle. Yeah.
I like to think we're more like Dink and Doink, you know, in this wrestling Star Wars sphere. Yeah, we're like we come in and just fuck up their whole little game, you know?
Yeah.
Because it would be a monotonous. It's an echo. I think some guy called me an echo chamber. Bro, I'm one fucking person. You know what I mean? Like I don't think you understand what an echo chamber is. They are in a circle, all spouting the same fucking opinion to one another over and over again. How many people actually go, "This is ridiculous," and here's why? Not just an opinion, here's actual historical and here's actual shit they're doing in production right now. You know, like have your own opinions. Like my opinion clearly are not the popular ones. And then when they turn to be right, like the trailer, you know what I mean? Like I got told to shut up, Rob. We've had enough. Like, no. I'm still waiting to see Chris. I know I was gonna make this about me. I'm still waiting to see Chris eat that little Taco Bells. You know, come on, Bells or Bills, I don't care.
I want a Taco Bell. Darth Grogu says, "I've noticed a lot of complaints about new Star Wars content seem pre-written, kind of like Mad Libs. They just fill in blanks as soon as an episode airs to start posting and making YouTube videos."
Good
yeah,
call.
yeah.
Good
You're right. You're right. It's pretty formulaic. Star Wars is dead since the finale of Book of Boba Fett. I will say,
my friend, you must watch the Christmas special, the Star Wars Christmas special. You gotta watch the holiday special. You gotta watch the holiday special. That came a year after the first film. If Star Wars can survive the holiday special at the height, it's never been more popular than it was in 1978, right?
Sure.
Like the you know, more revered, more religiously, you know, believed in. If it can survive that fucking thing. My buddy who passed away last summer, you know, he was 10 or 11 when that came out. So I would ask him all the time, what was it like? And he's like, I cried. He's like, I'd never been so fucking depressed watching that on television, you know? Like he was so excited and he cried. He thought it was over. He thought like that killed everything. You know?
Yeah.
They'll never make a movie after that. You know?
In Darth Grogu's opinion, the sequel trilogy looks 100 times worse compared to the content that came after it. But make sure you guys like the video too, by the way. It helps get the video seen. Marvel Mania says, I would be okay with them making a Rey Jedi Order show that took place after the Rise of Skywalker to redeem Rey a bit and to show her training Finn as her first Jedi student. Yeah, there's a lot of good stories there. I'm even about the resurrection of I like this. My concept that I like is the idea of resurrecting Ben Solo, but using sort of magic rules. And in doing so and bringing him back, there's the other side of it. Like when the evil guys, when the Sith put the shot of the dark side over the galaxy so that where the Jedi can't sense them anymore, when they do that, Anakin's born. And it would be kind of interesting if by bringing back Ben, they made something worse. You know what I mean? And just to continue the drama, I think it would be fun. But Real Ben Mander says, you bring up a good point. Christian Harloff says the good thing is there's so many pieces of Star Wars content out there. If you don't like certain things, cool. There's other things coming and forget it. Yeah, exactly. That's like that. That's me with, I mean, there's episodes of Book of Boba Fett that I will put on forever. And there's a lot of it I will probably only play if it just auto plays into it. It just, but that's like, and I know Christian Harloff's a big wrestling guy, and it is kind of like wrestling. It's an ongoing, like, fictional drama. And so there's going to be story arcs and eras that are fantastic, and there's going to be some where it really struggles, or it really struggles for you and like your preferences. And that's completely fine. The fucking difference is just don't be a fucking piece of shit to people who don't have your opinion or try to bully them. I know Ben would never do that. I'm talking about, but that's what those people try to do, in comment sections. I don't really get the logic behind it, because it wasn't like anybody ever like got fandom menaced and then went, oh, well, you're really speaking sense here, friend. And now I'm gonna hang up this Raylo costume and join you. Like, that just didn't really happen. It doesn't work that way. It's an unrealistic thing. Marvel Mania says eventually we will tell stories taking place after the Rise of Skywalker. It may take a while to get Daisy Ridley and John Boyega on board again, but with the right script and creative plan, who knows? Marvel, I gotta say, I am of the opinion that Daisy Ridley and John Boyega, and even what's his name who plays Adam Driver, Adam Driver and Oscar Isaac, they could all posture. I don't know. I did my Star Wars time. I think all of that's going to be a money play. I think all of them would easily do Star Wars. I also don't for a second believe that a guy who's doing Moon Knight won't do more Star Wars if he has what he wants out of it. I believe they will all be back eventually. And but I do think that they would be smart to stop letting it. Well, see, okay, here's the other thing. Adam Driver is blown up. But why did Adam Driver blow up? He blew up because he played ball with one of the biggest entertainment companies in the fucking world. So these people,
Dunham?
Yeah. He peed on Lena Dunham in the once you pee on Lena Dunham in the shower or whatever, you can do whatever you want in Hollywood. It turns out
you get to yell, "I have the power." It has to rhyme.
All of Hollywood was like, "He's ruthless. Don't fuck with him." But no.
I would like to say though, if I were in charge of it, right? Like if I had the Santa Thanos glove on and I was able to rule it all,
yeah.
I would have this Filoni verse take us to the Battle of Jakku,
right?
Show how that shit went down, and then the next thing we do is the Rey show that follows the aftermath of Episode 9. You know what I mean? So you get your prequel, and then we get the fucking sequel to the sequel trilogy.
Right?
So I'd have all this shit. I just think that that's the logical way to do it. If you show everything up to when she was abandoned and you pick up where she left off, I think that's the best way to creatively salvage that whole scenario.
Sure. Yeah. And I think it's important that they get on it. But once again, like I said, Disney made these people. The monopolization of Hollywood is only continuing to happen. So I don't see those actors actually getting more powerful and being able to say, no, thanks. I'm going to go over here for the most part. Just one little slippery
Peter Rabbit
movie.
Did a lot of money, man. I don't know. Did a lot of money.
Peter Rabbit, Yeah, and I wish them well. I think generally speaking, the cast of the last Star Wars movie trilogy was I think they seem like they were pretty good people for Hollywood.
Cheesesteak has this and something he gave you some money for, so we should read this.
Oh really? Oh, I didn't even see it.
On these two.
Well, if you need to go, there's a kind of a lot of people in the chat. So if you need to go, dude, by all means, you can take off. I think I'm gonna hang out for a bit more though, but totally up to you. Okay. Yeah, totally up to you. What you got with your time. But Cheesesteak, is this Josh's Den of Nerds source on the latest leak? I'm going to assume so. I mean, the major stuff from Kenobi has come from me or Bespin Bulletin, but I'm the one who probably released that. But weird.
It's $2.
Oh, okay. Why? And thank you, Cheesesteak, for the super chat thingy. Why not have Josh on to discuss what he got wrong? Well, Josh actually invited me onto his show publicly. I DM'd him and said, "Hey, I got some spoilers, some scoops. If you want these all," and he kind of like blew it off a bit, and then never followed back up. So I'm not going to go ask again. But also on Twitter, I reached out to him and I said, "I think you're misleading your audience," and he turned it into a joke. And diminished it or minimized it. And then, but now here we are. We all saw it coming from a mile away. So it was by design. He did a good job of doing what he intended to like do. Um, I just don't have very much respect for it. It's a bummer. And I thought he was going to kind of move on from that kind of jazz, but apparently no, apparently not. But but he is always welcome to come on the show, and if he thinks he's been treated unfairly, by all means, come on and say your piece. But it's kind of it's kind of hard to not see it as that when it's been so distorted and taken out of context. And no, he was the one who propagated that concept. No one was saying it. No one who mattered. Somebody might have said it to him once, give him the idea, but no one on a massive scale was saying it until he brought it to Nerd Theory and planted the seeds. And that just is what it is. I mean, it's not even. I don't even feel like that's my opinion. I feel like this is what happened. And so yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, and then weird to go that far, and then to like try to. It's like setting a fire and then walking away and going, oh, I didn't do it. Wasn't me. So that's my perspective on it. But once again, anybody is welcome on the show. I don't care. I mean, you know what I mean? Like anybody could come on and talk and share their piece as long as they're respectful and nice. It's cool with me. And he's always welcome. Marvel says, I still want to know who Ray is playing in Ahsoka. I'm expecting Thrawn and Ezra casting to be made official at Celebration. Yeah, I keep thinking that too. But the only thing that I keep going with on that side of things is, what if Thrawn and Ezra aren't until the last episode? What if it's something that they film late? We may not have the casting then, if that's the case. I'm not saying that's what they're doing. It's possible, though.
The biggest wasted opportunity with the sequel trilogy was Rey not going to find Ahsoka after Luke or whatever. Like, should have been so many things you could have done there. So many things.
Is Ahsoka dead? We hear her voice at the end of 9. Are those all dead? Are those all dead people? You know what I mean? I'll also like something to consider is that like my interpretation, the world between worlds always comes up with it. That logo only really had the print of the top of the Jedi Temple. Doesn't necessarily mean the world between worlds. But when you look at like how it works, it's like it is like a time gate, but what happens always happened, kind of situation, I think. And but what if they do like a story, where she goes in there and when she's in there, maybe that's when she sees Rey. Maybe that voice is coming through that very place. And but maybe it's going to be like one of those missing, maybe it's a Flood of the Navigator moment where she goes into the ship, into the world between worlds, and when she comes out, it's been a long time. So it could be something like that with her. It's possible, I think, anyways. But who knows? I've listened to them speak about the world between worlds extensively, and I don't think what they say actually makes sense a lot. I think there's a lot of misspeaking going on their end too. So he says, Edward Scissorhands for the 4th. I watch Deep Space Nine. Sometimes on Taco Tuesdays, sometimes I have hamburgers.
I love Deep Space Nine. I love Cisco. That's my favorite. I'm being dead serious. It's my favorite Star Trek. Like, and I had to endure my fucking semi-racist uncles complaining about black Star Trek captain for the better part of the 90s. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
They eventually came over when they did that TOS episode with the Tribbles.
Oh, right.
Yeah. They let it go. But I think after 4 years of complaining, to people who don't care, like it just went nowhere. So
yeah. Trebbing is fun. Star Wars Santa says, I'm back. Had to go to a meeting. Catching back up with the show. Oh, kill a woman. They're woke, making the woman the victim. Can't kill a woman because woman. Yeah. That stuff is pretty. Yeah. No, he's I think he's being facetious. I don't think he really thinks that.
I know. I just it's
Yeah.
a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Just someone needs to write that joke out first and then work it and then bring it back. That's all I'm saying. Workshop it.
Workshop it. Marvel Mania. I think overall, Star Wars and Lucasfilm has much better security currently than Marvel Studios. Am I correct with that assumption? No, I don't think so. Some
No, I
stuff
think
leaks
what
from
we're talking
Star
about.
Wars, but clearly not the same level. I don't know, man. I mean, like when I decided to get stuff, I mean, from Kenobi, not a lot of mystery here left. I don't think. I could be wrong. Famous last words, right? But I also don't follow the Marvel leaks, so I don't know to what extent like the Marvel stuff is leaking. But I guess my question for you, Marvel, is does it make the Marvel experience better? Do you think it ruins it? Do you think it makes it better? Because I think leaks are ultimately good. I think knowing what happens in a story and what to expect sets expectations, and I think it makes it more enjoyable. That's my take. Sorry,
I know
Rob. Were you saying
my
something?
take on spoilers was that when we were kids, all we
Mm-hmm.
ever got from friends when they asked you if you'd seen a movie was the ending or the big stuff. So if you're like, "Hey, did you see Jaws? He eats a man alive!" Like it's just a whole fucking thing, you know. If you saw Star Wars, they
Mm-hmm.
tell you, and then he cut his arm off, and he turns into a ghost, and it blows. And that was why your knowledge of spoilers is what made you want to see the movie. And this whole, I would say episode 1 is kind of where people are like, I don't want to know, I want to go in totally blind. And then I think it made it worse because you start fantasizing every possibility that ever could be, and that's not the movie you're getting. So now you're just trying to let the movie better live up to your hypothetical expectation. It's like when you never tell your parents what you want for Christmas and you're just expecting them to somehow know because you whispered it to Santa, right?
Yeah.
Or Jesus or whatever mythical fucking creature you believe in. And when you don't get what you want, being let down. I learned that. I learned that lesson in 1988. You know, better tell my dad what I want for Christmas, or I'm getting wooden toys, Jason. That
Mm-hmm.
spelt Rob. It wasn't even like a tank. It was my name in wood. It was my fucking present. My mom abandoned me the year before, Jason, like, on Christmas, and I got wood toys. So you gotta like spoilers help. Spoilers help.
All
That's
right.
all I'm trying to say.
Spoilers out.
I'm not angry. I'm not angry.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there too.
Post-traumatic Star
It,
Wars, right?
Marvel Mania says, yeah, you can hate The Last Jedi for its story and script, but visually it's outstanding. Some of the best visual effects and production design in the franchise. Yeah, that's my take too, and I personally like it. And then Michael
They all
Baxter,
look good though.
he calls me a cocksucker and a Disney shill, and then I guess like the Knights of Melvin are standing strong. I hope you're all hard ready to have your cock sucked because sounds like you're all lining up for it. So let's
You're
do it.
learning all our tricks. You're learning
You
all our
know,
tricks, Jason.
yeah. But I mean, but you're gonna,
Tell them
you're gonna
about
have
the
to.
back door.
Michael, you want to learn about the back door, Michael?
Tell them about the back door.
It's back there.
Remember when I told you you doing that thing, and you said you'd stop?
Right.
You need to stop.
Me and Michael Baxter are gonna play just the tip. Real Ben Maynard says, "Do we have any inkling of Palpatine?" Ian's comments make me wonder if we get him as a hologram or something. I don't believe so. I don't think that's going to happen. Could, but I would expect him in Andor or Bad Batch more than I would expect him in Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, anything is possible, but we'll see. Hey, Mike Porter, the dad joke of the day. Hello, Star Wars is wonderful and I love everything MCU. I'm a MCU shill. I love Iron Man too. Yeah, more than a shill in. Darth Grogu says the sequels were literally 1 year in the Star Wars timeline from start to finish. It was nothing more than a side quest, really. Well, a lot could happen in 1 year. How is it a bait and switch to have more characters besides just Kenobi in this series? Yeah, you would think that like the show was called Kenobi and Vader 2.
Jason, let's not pretend all of us here didn't just go through 2020 and tell me about how long a year can get.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Think about that.
I'm with you, man. Mike Border says, how come no special emojis for members, Jason? Just asking. Love the channel. I love the Santa imitation. Oh yeah, you know what? I don't really know much about that. I'll look into it. And maybe if Rob
I
gets
want
bored.
an emoji.
Yeah.
Get it? Emoji.
In emoji George Lucas. That doesn't work. I tried.
Oh no.
Marvel Mania. Oh no, wait, Lucas?
Yeah.
Lucas?
Well, I'd like it's a virtual puppet.
Lucas, can you help me out, bud?
Okay.
People keep calling me cocksucker and a shill. What do I do?
CBS. Was it
What do I?
CBS? Oh, what do you call? Well, I got that on Howard the Duck. I just blame Marvel, so you can just blame Marvel now.
I just saw what was on CBS.
That's what I said. I said it was on CBS. Like,
Yeah. No, I'm just letting everybody know that you are very serious about CBS.
Like that. Like,
yeah,
I can do it.
Yeah, I'm with it. My theory is that Mike Zero is actually too. I don't know about that. Hello, Star Wars Santa, says Mike Porter. Mike Porter's dad jokes are so good, by the way.
Douche within a cock was wrapped in a shell of another douche. Think about it.
All right. Kobe-Wan says, look, it's Kobe. Look, he's got his like Jedi robe and he's got his.
Oh no, he should be a ghost.
Oh, that's cool. No helicopter sabers, right? No helicopter saber rides.
Oh,
okay.
Too soon.
Sorry, too soon. I'm sorry, that was rude. Disney Star Wars is all bait and switch because they name a show after an OT character and then feature everyone but that character. Like Boba Fett was Vespas and Sand People and very little Boba Fett. You know what? Number one, I don't get how one is the other, for starters, because you're making like
they featured Boba Fett. He just didn't do anything. He was in every episode. At times, we're just staring at him for minutes on end.
and the truth is that it is a more of a structural problem with the show that the Vespas stick out that much to you because they were really not important. They really didn't do anything very important, and I don't even remember them having any lines. Did they have lines?
Literally, the two huts did more than the.
Yeah.
So seriously.
But to go and say all of Disney is this based off of that is, well, that's really, really strange. I just don't think it's correct.
Yeah. Do you know that show called The Mandalorian and he's never in it? Sure. Okay.
Reva blows Kathleen Kennedy's strap on. That sounds hot.
Jesus, Kobe.
Kathleen Kennedy. I almost called her Kathleen Cuntity. Which is what he should have said.
Don't give him ideas.
I know, it just came out like that.
You're making it.
Kathleen Kennedy is a mud trooper. Uh-oh. Well, watch the language there, buddy. Yeah. So, hey, Richie. What most people aren't talking about is that this show could propel Moses Ingram into a big star. Other than seeing Obi-Wan, Vader, and Qui-Gon, Ingram is the one I'm looking to see the most. Yeah, I think she's fantastic in Queen's Gambit. Good show, by the way. Thomas says,
tell you, man, I've watched that series 3 times, and I don't mean in the background. I mean, just watched it. Fucking love that series. Everything. She got on my, because when I was in the Army, I had a real hard time, some shit I went through, and things didn't get better until I met this cat named Griffin, and Griffin was like her, like in her character.
Peter Griffin?
No, just his last name. His name was Juan, but he's not Hispanic. His mom just like
Griffin Juan Kenobi.
Yeah, it's a good dude, man. But their relationship was very much like our relationship in the military. So it was just like I understood it. You know what I mean? Like, so, but they're really good friends. I really got their friendship in that show. Like, yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, it worked.
And she has a great name. Jealous of that name.
That is a good name. Name. Yeah. You don't fuck with.
When you write Moses Ingram in wood, it looks cool. But when you write Robert in wood, it's fucking the worst Christmas present ever. Like, really? Should have just given me nothing. I would have been happier. You
got the Beatles song Dr. Robert, I guess. I'm convinced there's a massive element of this fandom that just want live action video games. How dare Kenobi have a supporting character that isn't a boy Hayden? Fucking weird, man. Yeah, I'm with you, Thomas. It doesn't really truly make very much sense to me about why there being more than two characters all of a sudden becomes an issue. It's strange to me. Junkbox says, so sick of Star Wars Theory and Josh trying to be the face of Star Wars fans with their divisive bullshit. Why not just like Star Wars for being Star Wars? I mean, I get where you're coming from, Junkbox. I do think it's like important to sincerely share your opinion. It's important to be real about how you feel about things, but it's also important to be fair and to put the emphasis where it belongs, not where you can fan a fire. I think that's the big thing. And people will say Star Wars Theory doesn't know what Josh is doing. If that's the case, I don't know. I just beats me, but I'm like, I wouldn't let Rob, come up with everything that I'm just me gonna go, oh, well, I'll let Rob just tell me, I mean, like, who does that? I don't really believe that. That seems weird. Mandalorian was a different series. Death Trooper, they evolved. Okay, cool. Marvel says, I'm sure Reva will be a perfectly fine character and she won't overstep into the overall story of Obi-Wan and Vader. She will be a complementary piece of a great character. I'm not worried or mad. Yeah, it's just, I mean, she does the stuff that Darth Vader can't do for us. I mean,
let's just blame Filoni for shoving Darth Maul into that cartoon, or we would have gotten Darth Maul.
Well, that is also I mean, as we talked about, Darth Maul was never a part of this. But what's funny about it is that when Darth Maul does what Reva did, people didn't really have that big of a deal with it. But the difference is the lightsaber in front of Luke. That's where it goes further. But that's not what they're talking about.
But if it were Darth Maul doing it, had that episode never happened in the cartoon, whatever, and then he is in this thing, right? Like, and that happened, they wouldn't be complaining. I mean, someone would be complaining, but not because Disney's woke. Do you understand what I mean, folks?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that they're complaining that canon-wise this might be an issue. It's that they're using this it's dog whistling a separate fucking thing, And if you're gonna pretend, while simultaneously saying that they're trying to make things less political, when it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Kobe1 says, I am a huge troll. I don't like anyone, but I like Josh in theory. I think you are probably not helping their case. We need more likes. Yeah,
been
like
downhill
it.
ever since that crash.
No. Marvel Mania says, I love getting all these Star Wars shows, but I really miss Star Wars on the big screen. I really hope we can get some movie news soon and give Bryce Dallas Howard a Star Wars film already. Lucasfilm. Yeah.
And they really should have that Mandalorian movie, man.
Yeah.
You know how excited everyone would be right now if that was coming next Christmas?
Yeah, it'd be a good time. It would be better than probably a final season, but here we are. Third season's coming, so it is what it is. Kobe goes on to say, it's not about color. Star Wars doesn't even have any Mexicans or Asians. I mean, what are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. You're misunderstanding the whole thing, but I think you probably answered your whole thing in that you're a troll. So Aria says, text Josh and join Nerd Theory or we riot. No, I don't think they want me there. I think if I set things straight, there's nobody's talking about them, right? So that's
weird
the point.
Places to capitalize things too. A lot of weird capitalization today.
Yeah, probably on a phone, Tyrant says Liam just stopped by set to have his pants dry cleaned, and they held them hostage unless he did one scene. So expect one drunk, pointless Qui-Gon take. He's like, I've been here the whole time, man. Yeah. Wizard.
Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan looks down and there's this like name being peed into the, into the sand. Like he's writing his name, but you can just see the imprint from the Force pee.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like your avatar, dude. Plush says, if there's too much Vader, it will be jarring. Yeah, he is best used. He is best used, conservatively.
Yeah, we call that a jarring effect. Yeah, we try not to do that anymore in the films.
Yeah, exactly. Vader is the final boss, not Boss Hog. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. Boys, like you don't want that from Darth Vader. You don't. I mean, but Darth Mewtwo. I'm not going to overreact about it.
Monroe. Sorry, just look at this imagine.
I'm not going to
look at the Ted Knight voice. You know,
Ted Knight Star Wars. I'm not going to overreact about it, but I'm going to watch it. I'm sure it'll be sick Vader parts, Hayden parts, Obi-Wan Inquisitor parts. I'm down for that. Just don't break canon. It sounds solid. Yeah, you know what I find weird about it is like you could have none of this. And because they're not getting 6 episodes of that one thing that they want, they're throwing a fit. Like that's strange. Like before you had none of this. And now we are getting those things and they're like mad about it. But once again, like Darth Krieger says, it's all clickbait. Probably true.
you should go and reread Rogue Planet. Let's get mad about something worth getting mad over.
Yeah. Once Reva figures out Anakin has children, she's doomed no matter what she does. That's true. Like once you go there, you know that she's not going to survive, you know? So yeah, I'm with you. So, all right, let me see if I'm going to try to get this show kind of overweight. Oh no, wait, Tyrant just says $1. It's the Blue Force Ghost.
He says it didn't show up. He's supposed to type something.
Okay. Okay. But well, I mean, I think it's Blue Force Ghost stuff. That's what I think. Let me make sure I get to Tyrant.
The size of his blue dick.
Oh shit!
That one.
Oh my god, sucker! Star Wars Make says you're forgetting that Reva is going to be overshadowed by the main Inquisitor of all, Kathleen Kennedy, First Sister Overlord. She will do dual Obi-Wan and accidentally send Cara Dune into the Sarlacc. But I heard that Cara Dune was coming back. That's what I heard. I heard she's coming back.
Meg Shade's the best.
Meg Shade is the best. Yeah.
She's really good.
Eric then says, I stopped watching the Star Wars Theory because I knew the Star Wars facts Jason was providing were accurate. Thank you, sir. I mean, you know, I'm not telling you not to watch them or anything like that. By all means, anybody watch whoever you want. I'm not going down that place. But what I am saying is, yeah, I mean, I don't know why you would. Sometimes I don't understand. Like I'll see like somebody like I'll take myself out of it. I'll see somebody like cover Bespin Bulletin's article, and then people discussing the person that covered Bespin Bulletin's article. Why wouldn't you just go to the source? Like, why go third hand? It never makes sense.
Well, I do like a conversation over an article. You know,
if somebody has like, if somebody has commentary that they've added to it that is significant, then of course. So Tyrant, go in and put it. Wait, what? Santa gave me one? Santa, you crazy Santa Claus. Super chat just to make Jason keep talking longer. Yeah, I will. I'll talk all day for $10. I'll do anything. That's why they call me the cocksucker. D'Angelo Vickers says, before Force Awakens, I used to listen to. Thank you, Santa. I used to listen to so many insiders that were full of bullshit. Thank God if I'm making Star Wars. Jason rules. Rob too. Thanks, D'Angelo. I appreciate that. A little shout out for Rob. Yeah. No, I mean, like like you end up paying for like 2 things, or paying for 2 things. You end up, you know, being a part of 2 things here that you're like helping out or giving to. If you participate in fandom, and either you're giving to personality, or you're giving to personality, or you're giving to the content, the quality of the content, the facts. And if you're in it for the spoilers, I don't know why people wouldn't follow me and Bespin like wholeheartedly. You know, overall, I don't know why people.
In it for the Twix.
Yeah,
that's it.
They are in it for the Twix, but
the Twix.
Hawk likes Star Wars things. All right, Hawk. Me too.
Like Eagle Fangs holocron.
Arya says, "Is it true we see Vader's castle and that Vader goes into his TIE advance because he gets info about Kenobi?" I can't confirm the TIE advance. I tried. I know he's in the castle. I mean, he's in the castle when he's in the tank. Whenever you see him in the tank, he's in his castle. So you will definitely see it, and so you can expect to see that for sure. So Joel says, MSW bait and switch shirt when? That's a good next one. Bait and switch.
Oh, don't make me make shirts.
Yeah, it's your job. It's your new job. Sorry. You didn't know this is like Beetlejuice. You died, and this is your hell.
You used to get paid a lot more. Just letting you know. This is a step down.
But what is the value of one thank you from Joel Williamson? You know, just to throw it out there. Ben Bamboo says, you need to be the voice of all the electronic devices Star Wars make. Yeah, she has the best voice. She needs to do voices in Star Wars. They should hire her now. Oh, how's it going, Mr. Tail? Don't you like the sticky hands videos where dudes scroll through articles and bitch about them? Tyrant says, I only like
be a great. Remember in Spaceballs at the end, there was that voice telling him, just kidding, haha, right? Like if they did a sequel like the Spaceballs Awakens, she'd be the great ship, the person on the ship talking shit to everybody, like while they're running around. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Tyrant says, I only like Star Wars when there wasn't Yoda, Lando, the Emperor. I need my Star Wars to be only the original characters. Yeah, right. That's kind of how it goes. Are we getting new leaks today? I wouldn't hold out for new leaks, but I have a comprehensive thing coming out. Star Wars makes us masturbate and his Switch. Hey, the best of both worlds, I'd say. Hawks Holocron, dudes, people do this to Illuminati all the time. Laugh out loud. Put some respect on the original source, please. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Just whatever it is. I mean, because that's where the purity of it is, and the more you remove it, the more you like dilute it. It's just true. And it's like, if I report something badly and people go and report it, well, at least you can see it was reported badly, and you know how to quantify that bit of info. So Star Wars Mix says, yeah, they have all the Ahsoka and Acolyte stuff at Hawks Holocrons for like the casting stuff. They're stellar for casting for sure. Tyrant, I feel like the sequel trilogy characters were so underused because of how much they tried to force the legacy characters into the trilogy as much as possible. That could be. It could be.
They didn't do anything with those characters. Like I'm just gonna get it. Like Finn's a stormtrooper who leaves, who literally deserts,
Mhm.
and they never really do anything with it. It doesn't go anywhere. Like. So they didn't do enough with their own characters, and you could say they tried to force it. The other characters aren't in it. Look, Han Solo is gone halfway through the Force Awakens. He's not even in it the front part. Luke Skywalker is until the very ending. Luke is really in the beginning and end of The Last Jedi, and Leia's gone throughout the majority of that film, and she's not even in the third one. I don't think that's the case. It just didn't do enough with their own characters. That's it.
I could definitely see though a perspective. We'd have to like really analyze it to like really get down to this. Maybe when we get slow here, in a while, we will. But it's like, they were doing things and putting moments onto the classic characters, and maybe those moments should have been more about the new characters. Like it was kind of smart to have like Kylo kill Han, because then you have it's Kylo's moment and Han's moment. Like those kind of things are like kind of smart. But yeah, I could see that like perspective though. I could also see a perspective of where whenever you put anything classic into it, it immediately becomes a scene stealer for better or worse, and that people could feel that too. But I'm gonna watch them again pretty soon, and when I do, I'm gonna look at it from that perspective a little bit and see what I think. So, yeah. Arya says, I really want Tor Valum in live action. Dude, the ideas for episode 9 were so fucking amazing. It would have opened the new door for a variety of, including Darth Plagueis. Yeah. That kind of stuff is all fun. What is good though, Arya, is that those concepts, those ideas are there. They own them. So as we know, things tend to come back with Star Wars. The quality stuff tends to rise to the top. So the young boomer says, my super chat never went through either. As in, like, did it charge you and stuff? Because if it did, you're a channel member. I'm going to read your stuff anyway. So, but I appreciate it a lot. But tell me what you want to say, and I'll make sure to get to it right now. And same thing with Tyrants. Or was that Tyrants one that was the blue one originally? Yeah. So I hope we got to it. And if we didn't, I will make sure we do. Because I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys supporting this show, especially after 2 hours and 44 fucking minutes. Star Wars Make says, I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. Yeah, I know, Meg. You can do it though. A dark side show is going to be lit. Yeah, I want a dark side show. I think it's a little bit of a dangerous place to go though, Meg. Um, the reason why I think that is like a dark and seedy show should have been like Book of Boba or Boba Fett. And once you start to bring those characters in, they tend to want to become heroes. And so they, I think, really have to be cognizant of the fact that, these characters don't become heroes. These characters are evil or whatever. So I would almost feel like I think of a show or like a movie like what was that one with the I was a kid then, so I don't know. It's creepy to say it now, but remember the show with like the hot witches when we were kids? The Craft. They like
The
a bunch of
movie, not
the
show.
movie, not the show.
It's a good
the
show.
movie.
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah,
but I
it's
never
with
I don't know. But
Veruza, Salk, or Veruza,
yeah, with all of those people. Like in that one right there, like they're pretty much bad, but you identify with them and it's a fun journey. And then at the end, there's a moral quandary. I feel like if they took like a dark side show into that kind of place, it could be fun and it could be like interesting. And that's kind of what I'm hoping that maybe Acolyte does in a much better Star Wars way than the Craft. That's kind of my hope. And stuff like Tor Valum and stuff like that totally has room for that. Star Wars Newsnet have now reported on the Ahsoka casting of Matthew Law. Are they reporting it as like their like news story, or are they just covering it? Because I think that's a big difference or a big thing, Marvel Mania says, I'm kind of a simpleton and just want some version of Revan, Mara Jade, and Kyle Katarn to make their way to live action. Laugh out loud. Yeah. I kind of think over time, all of that will be true to some extent,
And I want Matthew Berry to play Kyle Katarn. I'm Kyle Katarn.
My
Like
name.
to see my porn. My
Will
pornos. Sorry,
and
pornos.
Will, thank you for being a channel member. Will says live action Jackson or we riot live action Jackson. That's what it should be called. Live action Jackson.
Why didn't they get Michael Jackson could come back and be CGI and not be live action?
No.
That's the great irony of it, right?
But don't you think that like Jackson in live action would be fucking creepy as fuck if done right? Like that rabbit design could be fucking terrifying if done
James
right.
Gunn can pull that off. James Gunn can pull it. If James Gunn ever wants to step his foot into Star Wars, there you go.
Tyrant says Jason into a crew of hot goth chicks. Who would have known? Is that sarcasm? Because since
I didn't say it, Jason.
my last my last 3 girlfriends, I go over to their house and I'm like, oh, so you got an altar? You're a witch, huh? Yeah, witches love me, and I love them. They're magical. D'Angelo Vicker says, do you think going forward they will always be just CGI Luke, and we'll probably never be getting a recast like Sebastian Stan getting the role? I kind of feel like if the technology continues to evolve and meet the needs of the company, I think that will likely be the way that this turns out. And it may likely be the case for characters moving forward. And eventually, maybe this is like me going, in the year 2000, we're all going to have flying cars, Mr. D'Angelo. It might be that.
Like the flying car. Now, if a guy came and told you the flying car was coming in, would you suck his dick? No. Why wouldn't do I have to suck his dick? I don't want
this cocksucker would.
It's for the flying car. Like, don't tell me you don't want the flying car. Like, you don't remember that bit?
Yeah, no. But
okay. Kevin, go type in Kevin Smith flying car. Like,
okay. But anyways, where I'm going with it, is if you start to create characters in a way, a part of me wonders if eventually we could even move away from actors, like, because then you give somebody a certain amount of power. Like if you created Daisy Ridley in CGI and then she quits, she can't have a scandal. CGI Daisy Ridley, she can't have a scandal. She can't die. She can't get older. She can't anything. So in a way, I wouldn't be surprised on one hand if we see characters like Luke Skywalker remain immortalized in CGI forever. But then maybe eventually, when they go to make the next one of these trilogies someday, they start from that place from day one. And then that way, if Natalie Portman has a problem being Padme, you just get Keira Knightley to come in and be the stand-in, and then it looks the same on screen forever. Stuff like that. I kind of see that kind of dystopian Hollywood happening, for better or worse, eventually. But once again, could be the old man yelling at clouds, but promising flying cars. So I acknowledge that. So they're just covering. Okay. So Arya says, so much work for Tor Valon, but haven't heard any updates ever since about him. The damn thing is 7,000 years old. Yeah. I mean, Tor Valon is not unlike the Bendu character in Rebels to some extent, just on the opposite side of the Force. So the young boomer says, basically, I said for post episode 9 stuff, retcon Rey Palpatine, make Rey who she should have been. Corky's daughter, Rey Kenobi Kryze. That's what I saw. I'm on board for that. I still hope that happens. I still think it would be. I mean, wouldn't it be cool if one of these, when we're 90 years old, we got the Skywalker saga, got the Kenobi saga? Could happen. I doubt it though. I think they'll move away from that Skywalker saga stuff eventually. Personally, I hope I'm wrong, but I think they will. Tor Valon looks just like a Zepho. Weird. Copyright Hawks Collarons. Don't take my damn theory. Yours. Tyrant, speaking of deepfakes, the new Kendrick video does a lot for what seems like a lower budget. Okay, I'll check it out. Young Boomer says, I bet Revan will depend on how well the KOTOR remake goes down. It's great. He, she, Nihilus, Bane, etc. have been acknowledged as Sith Eternal battalions in episode 9. Yeah. So it's like we're back to the Legends concept. That stuff exists. Did it happen the way that the game said? No. That's the legend, right? What does irk me though is this concept that they're remaking the game, redesigning it, tearing it up from the floor up and making it new, and then saying it's not canon. Like at that point,
the main game isn't canon. The DLC is gonna be canon though. So,
okay.
This DLC, not that DLC. It's gonna be like just the NFT DLC is gonna be canon, so you have to pay for that. But other than that, it's all Legends. You laugh, but just wait till they do it.
Ben Bamboo says, I still need to see Chadwick Boseman deepfaked in Black Panther 2 just to give him a proper send off. Yeah, that's a really interesting. I haven't thought much about it because I don't follow Marvel that much, so I haven't thought about that very much. But yeah, I mean that's something that they could have considered doing, and I don't know. I'm obviously making an assumption here, but I would kind of think that I would imagine he would be happy with his family being taken care of after his death if that gave them income. I'm not saying they need it, but
Leslie Nielsen into some Star Wars clips to get ourselves a proper Leslie Nielsen Star Wars spoof, right? The Naked Awakens.
Yeah.
The Last Naked and Rise of the Naked.
He's so great though that if they did it, it wouldn't be the same. It was all him. Arya, if Jabin was
straight man.
Right? Yeah. He's with my son loves the Naked Gun. Like I told you about that, right? You woke up, said, Dad, on my birthday, I just want to watch the Naked Gun. I was like, son, we can watch the Naked Gun tonight. Arya says, if Jabin was filmed more than once, was the ending also filmed? No, I'm not saying it was filmed more than once. I'm saying that they may have filmed aspects of those things separately, and that's why that. And no, I don't think that I don't think anything like that happened. And
you didn't like it, click this to get a different ending, right?
Remember when Clue came out though, you just got the ending you got in the theater. You don't get it all. You only got all the endings once it came out on video and on TV. Like and it didn't work, and nobody saw that movie. But no, I don't.
I rented that with Return of the Jedi at the video library.
Yeah,
and I greatly liked Clue better. Like I didn't think that would be the case.
You liked it better than Return of the Jedi?
Huh? I'm gonna tell you, man, that movie's a giant lull spot for me as a kid. From Jabba all the way through to the end. It's just nothing happens. Speederbach's cool, but just a lot of boring shit. Clue's fun all the way through.
You got problems, man. But I messaged you last night, and I was like, and Max, and I learned that Carrie Fisher was supposed to be Miss Scarlet in Clue, but she went to rehab. Yeah.
Look, Leslie Ann Warren's fantastic. I can see now casting Leslie Ann Warren as a backup to Carrie Fisher.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I can see that.
Yeah, I could see how they were contenders for roles. Like definitely.
Right. Yeah.
Marvel says it's all clear. It's clear all of this Mando stuff is going to lead to a Thrawn trilogy adaptation in live action. How they handle Luke, Han, and Leia could be interesting. A CGI deepfake, Alden as Han. I don't know. Yeah, I'm actually not of the opinion. I know it would be good for me and the channel to like lean into that and to say I think that's happening. I feel like they're just taking elements of it and just putting it in where they can for fun. I don't think that there's a real project for that to happen. I think that it's about making, it's like you can make a new Grand Admiral Thrawn type character, or you could just use Grand Admiral Thrawn, just using Grand Admiral Thrawn. I think that's kind of what it comes down to for me. But I love to be wrong. It would be fascinating if they did. I don't think that's what's happening. That's also weird to me. If you're remaking KOTOR, why not recontextualize the stuff to make it canon? Yeah, that's I'm curious to see if they do a panel at Celebration or something, and somebody asked them and they could answer that, because I would love to know. Why no Fallen Order fans in here? I like Fallen Order. I'm a Fallen Order fan. I am. Ben Bamboo says, instead of weird over-the-shoulder shots of Chadwick and trying to piece together whatever leftover footage from Black Panther 1, deep fake Buzzman is the way to go. Yeah, you would think so. I wonder why they're not doing it that way. You know, I wonder what made them decide not to go that way. So, anyways, Marvel Mania says, I'm a fan. I'm a Fallen Order fan. See, yeah, I like it too. Actually, I want to replay it because I played it when it came out.
Fan of Han. Sorry,
I'm a Han fan. Artie is Kenobi in Kenobi.
Cal Kestis he looks like a person. I just can't. He looks like Uncanny Valley if it were a living person. Like
when you're playing the video game, you're just seeing him from behind mostly. D'Angelo Vicker says,
"Okay,
Clue better than Return of the Jedi." Rob, what the fuck? I know. I think so too. I think Rob on that one he completely lost me. I'm always like a little bit like, hey, but on that one he lost me.
I'm telling you what I liked when I was 5. I argued with a 5-year-old. You know what I mean? I would prefer to watch. Gotta tell you, watching the maid run around.
And
you gotta understand.
Oh, I know. I'm watching Leia run around, friend. We're on the same page. I was
severely let down with Leia doing jack shit in Return of the Jedi as a kid. That bugged the fuck out of me. So
I couldn't track things enough. I saw a fucking squid head. I was like, fucking squid head, bro. Fucking good morning, guards. Yeah. You know what I mean? I like monsters. I like monsters.
I like the speeder bikes.
Young Boomer says, Hockey have a point. Tor does look like Zepho from Fallen Order. Oh, okay. Okay, I see where you're going now. Aria says, Jason, imagine if Disney offered you a cameo because of how good you are at leaking stuff. No, it's the one reason they will never offer me a cameo.
I won't even let you in at Denny's.
Yeah. I had to fight to get into Denny's. Hawks Hologram says, I'm saying they got worse triangle-shaped heads. Haha, I see. No difference. Marvel says, any
Silent Hill reference?
I don't know. Marvel says, any predictions in terms of announcements they could make at Celebration outside of Tales of the Jedi and maybe updates on Ahsoka? I'm not sure what new stuff we haven't heard of to look forward to. Well, like I said, I think an update on Rogue Squadron will either happen, and if it doesn't, it's telling. I think it's the silent announcement that it's not happening if they say nothing. Does that seem fair? Because that's my take.
Yeah, it seems fair. I mean, because they should be filming that right now.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest, you know? They should be knee deep in filming, you know? But that movie ain't happening. So.
Jar Jar's blue balls deep in filming, and they're not.
Yeah, Jack's on deep. You know?
Jack's on. Jack's on, Jack's off. That's what I say. But anyways, yeah. So I also think that there's stuff like Grammar Rodeo that has that will be probably, about to film. That hasn't been announced. That will be the time to like do it. I don't know how far they'll go. Stuff about Ahsoka probably that could be announced now probably won't be. Who knows what they will or won't announce. Maybe a look at Mando 3. Maybe some teases about the first episode and what to expect. Maybe. But new films, I don't think they'll do anything about. I don't think they would prefer to really go too deep into anything that isn't filming. I think they know that that could be a true bait and switch them there to go and say, come to Celebration. You're gonna learn about the new Star Wars movie. Here's the Josh Trank Book of Boba Fett movie, and then they don't make it. Then you're like, well, what the fuck? Like that was a big waste of my time, my expectations and my hopes and my vacation time, stuff like that. So I kind of think that they don't want to do that. But could we, hear about what's supposed to come from the future? I think so. That's a hope of mine, but we'll see. I don't really truly have very high hopes or even much respect for the past Celebrations experiences in the end. There's been times when they've been cool, but there's been times when there's been a huge waste of time, of expectations and possibility. So I'm hoping for the best. I'm going to cover it on this channel, like hoping for the best, but we'll see. You know what I mean? We will see. And Ben says, cancel 5-year-old Rob for his Clue take. Clue shill, laugh out loud. Yeah. Do you know that Clue was originally called Cluedo? Called Cluedo.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife. 1 second.
Me too. Move over. Wait, no, that's wrong. Ben Bamboo says, I second a Thrawn face-off with the OT characters Han, Luke, Leia, and Lando. Seems to be culminating event KK spoke of. Thrawn also seems to be the through line of the Disney Plus series as well. I hope that's what happens. I hope it does go there. But I don't know, man. I just don't know what to
Thrawn
expect.
Blue line.
You said it. You said it. It was you. It was you. Aria, just to motivate you guys, I got to say, I actually look forward to the show a lot and get snacks ready for it. Yeah. And Aria, I got to be honest. I appreciate that you have been so excited about Kenobi and have been a bit angry about the bullshit. But I appreciate that you are invested and excited about it too, because that's what being a fan is. It's about excitement. If you're not excited for something, you're not a fan of it,
And what is the official snack for this show? Like what we need an official snack,
Yeah. All I got
I
is
always like Bugles when I was a kid.
Snack Attack of the Clones is all I got in my brain right now.
Like Figgy Newtons.
Figgy Newtons.
Yeah, that's what I call them.
You call them Figgy Newtons. That's like Will Smith say Mickey D's in the 90s to me.
Figgy Newtons.
Reba chips. Yeah, I'll have to think about it. I don't know, because we don't snack on the show, so it's like who knows,
I'm starving now, Jason. We gotta go eat.
You gotta go eat. I gotta eat too. Yeah, it is. It's 2:00 my time.
3 hours, man. This shit's longer than this movie's longer than.
This is the Lord of the
Rings. It's not as long as people want for a Marvel movie. They always want them longer. It's only 3 hours. Fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I think we made it up a little bit for you guys. Okay, this will be our last comment. I'm excited about Kenobi. I just wish people would listen to the leaks and judge the show based on what's on screen, because all we know, the leaks should sound great, but the execution could be terrible. Yeah, it could go either way. It could be completely any of those things. Yeah, it appears that like either it splits in two or it goes on both sides. So, but
I did start listening to the Better Call Saul Insider podcast, and Kelly Dixon is on, even though she has nothing to do. She started the podcast, so she comes on whenever she can.
Is she the host or a guest?
She's the host. She kind of hosts it, but she also kind of doesn't know. So Vince sort of is like the real co-host now, Vince Gilligan. And they brought up in the first episode her, what's your new gig? Can I say pew pew pew? And she's like, yeah, it's leaked. I'm on Kenobi. She's doing the editing for, and as it sounds to me, she's doing the whole thing. Seems like so.
Yeah,
she's quite a good editor. So,
I have nothing but high hopes for the series. I really do. I really am not getting any, like, it doesn't sound tired. It sounds inspired. That rhymes. I don't know why, but let's just
Cheers it's a cheers, not a jeers, right?
right. TV guide.
I like spaceships.
Okay. We did it. So we'll be back. Actually, you know what? I'm going to be working on a video. I hope to have it out soon. I don't know when. Tomorrow, I don't think we'll be live tomorrow, most likely, because I'm taking my kids to Legoland. But if I get back early enough from it, then I'll jump on. And if Rob's not busy, Rob will be here. If Rob's busy, because I don't know what my schedule is going to be. I'm driving from San Diego or Calabasas back here. Takes some time sometimes. But so there's a chance we won't be on tomorrow, but we will. I'll make sure to be on if anything big happens or there's anything really huge to like report. There was Kenobi pictures and stuff we didn't even get to today. I totally forgot about, but we'll get to them.
Wet Kenobi.
Uh-oh, you said it, cocksucker.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go.
It's not about spaceships.
Hey!
Yeah, hey, Disney, it's show 1. Yeah, I did it. I said whatever you told me to say. Yeah, they're all mad. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Yeah, I love you too, Mickey. Okay, all right.